The Village of Lincoln Heights Committee of the Whole is now in session. Today's date is Monday, September 28th. The time is 6:30. Roll call, Ms. Randolph.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey,
Present.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Present.
Councilman Duran Daniels,
Present.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Present.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
Present.
Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin Williams. No response. Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Present.
We have 6 who are present. We have 1 who's not here, and we do have a quorum.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Randolph. We're going to go straight into the speaker. I'd like to say hello to Megan, who's coming with us from Volunteer Service Manager for Habitat for Humanity, and she's going to join us today to talk about Rock the Block, Home is the Rock Community Project.
Thank you, Mayor. It's good to see everybody. It's been a long time since I've seen a lot of you. I miss seeing all of you. Thank you for having me. I just wanted to touch on what Rock the Block is going to look like this year. Last year, we were so excited to have Rock the Block in Lincoln Heights. We did, in 2019, we did 27 home repairs and 2 community projects, and we had over 450 volunteers that joined us on the day of. And this year, because of COVID, we've had to change a lot of our programming and kind of pivot our program for Rock the Block to make sure that volunteers can come out safely and feel secure in what they're doing, and that we're not putting anyone at risk. So this year we are having a COVID edition called Home is the Rock, and we'll be working on community projects instead of repairs. And we decided to do this that way we didn't have homeowners having to choose between their health and a repair. So this year we're in all of the past Rock the Block communities, as well as some new ones. So we have a project in Lincoln Heights, and we'll be cleaning up the path that goes from the bottom of the old schools all the way up to the new school, that path that's there, and cleared up, and help clear up that fence so that when people use it, it's much more safe and secure for them. So we're going to be doing that on October 10th. So 10/10/20, it's easy to remember. And the event will start at 8 a.m. and it'll go until 4 p.m. It's a little bit longer than usual, but that's because we're doing 2 shifts. So usually we make lunches for everybody. Because of COVID, we're not doing lunches. So we're gonna have a morning shift of volunteers and an afternoon shift of volunteers. And Lincoln Heights was one of our sites to fill up the quickest. So everybody is really excited to go back to Lincoln Heights and clear up that fence and all of that brush that's back there. And we have a wood chipper that will be there the day of. So we'll be chipping up all of the brush that we get off of the fence and be able to really clear up that area. I know we have some great ideas for what we can use with that space. And so we're hoping to kind of start that for you all to kind of clear it out so it's a little bit more safe. So that is what we will be doing. You have 2 crew leaders. One of them is a Habitat AmeriCorps member, and the other one is actually my husband. So he'll be on the site too. Lincoln Heights is his favorite Rock the Block that he's ever done. So he wanted to be the crew leader there. So he will be there. We're gonna have a dumpster provided by Junk King. They are one of our sponsors. They're gonna be providing almost all of our dumpsters. And we'll have a wood chipper and some chainsaws running all day. And so feel free to stop by, say hi to the volunteers. Masks are required. And we also have a limited number of people that are allowed to register to volunteer. So we're keeping in that CDC line of 10 or less. That'll be there for the half-day shifts. That is about it, unless you guys have questions for me.
Okay. Any questions? Let me making sure they're not raising their hand because we're practicing starting to raise our hands. Let's see. I don't see anybody hand. Hey, all right, Vice Mayor.
Yeah, my question, so you're only accepting 10 volunteers in the morning and 10 in the afternoon?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
But we do have a virtual option. So we've actually had a lot of people, you can do a rock the block on your own. It's a virtual edition. So we've actually had some, Lincoln Heights is the only town, the only neighborhood to sign up their own team to do something in their neighborhood so far. So Pamela Johnson from one of the churches in Lincoln Heights. She will be Lincoln Heights Missionary Baptist Church. She and her husband will be bringing out their youth group day of, and they will be working on someone else's home, doing their own virtual rock the block. And so there's ways that you can do that. You can sign up for a virtual event and kind of clean up their own neighborhood day of. It'll be kind of separate, obviously, but anybody's welcome to sign up for the virtual as well.
Okay, all right. Ms.
Great
Faber,
idea.
is it? Yeah, a great idea. Ms. Faber, I know she's a big advocate of Habitat. I know she's on the line. I wanted to see if she had any questions or anything she wanted to ask.
Well, the only thing you said that you're just going to remove the brush and to take it back or whatever, but I know it's a big hole in that fence on that pathway. Is there anything that you can do with that?
So that is a question probably for the mayor to answer. We can repair the fence and close up those holes. It's I know there's 2 holes I think we found, right, Mayor? And we can repair that and fix that if you would like it closed.
Yes.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. I will add that to our list to do that day for sure. My question is if we could possibly have that gate opened up either the night before or the morning of. Volunteers will, our crew leaders will start showing up around 7:15, 7:30. To have that gate open would be great because the dumpster is going to be placed inside the gate, so it's a little bit closer. And so just let me know when that could be opened.
And
Okay,
thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I know last year, Councilman Daniels, they actually rocked the house, and I wanted to see if he had any questions that he would like to ask.
Thank you, Mayor. Only question I had is that you kind of mentioned that you had an idea for projects along that fence there. Just curious, obviously nothing set in stone, just what you had in mind, to do with that fence along that trail there. If I heard you right, Megan, I think that's what you said, Megan, correct? That you had an idea of some.
No, it was not me. I just know that there was possibly wanting to do something. Village might want to do something with the area.
Okay.
Yeah, not me.
Okay, all right, cool.
But we just wanted to clear it out so it was easier to do something with it later if you all were hoping to at some point.
All right, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Ms. Mitchell, anything you would like to ask?
Oh, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Childs Jeter? Okay. All right. Well, that was easy. So thank you, Megan. And so what we'll do is we'll reach out, inform. I don't see Mr. Dukes is not on the call, but we'll have him coordinate getting that fence open early. I'm thinking he's probably gonna open in the morning, so no one doesn't come in there and dump, because we're having problems with dumping throughout the village. So,
Okay.
But thank you so much. If there's anything you need, feel free to reach out to us. And thank you again.
Thank you for having me on.
All right.
Take
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. All right. Okay, we're going to go straight into old business regarding the second reading of resolution.
Linda's hand is up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Jeter. I was looking at the paper. Go ahead. You're on mute.
Yeah, I'm on mute. So when you talk about hand up, are you talking about the hand from the tools, or are you talking about us waving?
I was actually talking about the hands or the tools, because I went over there looking, because I know you had suggested that we tried it, but
Yeah, we need
I
to
didn't
do
see
that.
it. Yeah, so I was looking.
we need to practice that. And also the second thing is that the manager or the assistant manager is not with us. Is there any reason?
I would not know. I haven't heard anything. I have no clue.
Vice Mayor, have you heard anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Kathy did call and say she wouldn't be at committee of the whole, but she would be at the regular council meeting.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm looking. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and go to old business then. It's going to be on the second reading of Resolution 2020 R25, a resolution authorizing the village manager to execute a memorandum of understanding with the Hamilton County Department of Planning and Development for purpose of reviewing and updating the Lincoln Heights land use. Let me see, I think I have that in front of me. So this would be the legislation that we did just one vote on the 14th. And so Ms. Randolph has included in your packet to make sure you all have the memorandum of understanding. And I was hoping that we could possibly discuss it a little bit so we would have a clear mind on making the decision if we would like to vote on this. When it talks about the recital part, to establish a planning mini grant program using the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, the mini grant awards are made for planning projects that will help identify future projects in the jurisdictions that elects to participate in the county's HUD grant program. It goes on to talk about the agreement, the project detail, which is the village has been awarded $20,000 of an in-kind staff time for the project. It talks about the term. The project will begin on June 8th, 2020, and will be completed by December 31st, 2020. Accordingly, this agreement will terminate on that date unless the amendment is executed by the parties. The scope is to see the scope of work, anticipated timeline, and estimated staff time. And then it talks about the termination. Was there anyone wanting to discuss it or would like to?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
I had my hand up for a while.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay, I see hands. All right,
All right.
it's gone.
So
Miss-
what is the new start date?
So it doesn't mention a new start date because of us not just doing the first reading. It just mentions about the June. It doesn't mention it in the resolution, I don't believe.
Or with Ms. Pope, or has anyone talked with them since then, so that we don't want to start something and then it says that we have to be finished by December?
Okay, Ms. Pope is on the line now.
You're muted, Ms. Pope.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't get the first part of that. What grant are we talking about?
We're talking about the $20,000 one for the land use.
The mini grant.
Okay, I can't see, but Mr. Dukes is not on.
No.
No, ma'am.
So, Ms. Mitchell, was you going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say the question is, it says in the terms of agreement that the start date was June 8th. So do we have a new start and ending date?
No, that project was actually put on hold, and then with the not passing of the first reading of the MOU, the project was put on hold until we complete some of these other projects. That's what Miss Pearson, Joy Pearson, was telling us in a meeting. We had a meeting last week.
So when you say this is put on hold, are you talking about because we have not implemented or used the $200,000 CDAP grant? What is the other piece that's put on hold? I mean, that we have to complete other than the CDAP?
Okay, so I sent you guys an update, a funding update, if you look in your email, and it lists all the projects that we have with not only CDBG monies, but also the CARES Act funding. So I sent you guys a funding update, and we have available from the Lincoln Heights High School project, it's 185,000. What she told us was the asbestos to remove it from that building was 500,000. So of course that's not enough to cover that project. But she said we could apply for some additional CDAP funding next year.
So does that mean we still have the CDAP funds? I guess I'm confused at this. Okay, so this one was put on hold, and then we also applied for another mini grant, correct?
Only one I know of is the land use mini grant.
Man, okay, I thought we applied for another one.
Which one are you talking about?
$20,000 or $40,000. We did not.
No.
Okay, did we miss that one or? Okay.
I think we weren't eligible because of something else. If I'm trying to remember, but I think I know what you're talking about, Ms. Mitchell. Was that the latest one that I think we weren't eligible for because of something?
Right,
Okay.
right.
So I guess my question then becomes, what specifically is the Hamilton County Community Development Office saying that we must do and complete before we are able to utilize the mini planning grant for the land use plan?
So again, I sent you guys an update, and it lists all of, from the meeting that myself and Mr. Dukes was in last week, it lists all of the projects that we have. So they're talking about the CDAP, they're talking about the home improvement project, they're talking about code enforcement, they're talking about they also did have the mini planning grant on there that was put on hold. And then they're talking about that we have a traffic signal grant or funds available for a traffic signal on Maddox.
Maddox and Wayne, right. That's from our CDBG. So I see that Mr. Dukes has joined us. So Mayor, if I may, so we have all these funds and programs that we're supposed to be implementing through the Hamilton County Community Development Office, and we have not done much. So where are we? Because I was asking about the home improvement repair program last week. I've asked about that several times, and so I understand the CDAP. They're either going to let us hold it. We got to get the traffic light put up. That was in our 3-year plan. I think that's about 25,000 for Maddox and Wayne.
It's 20. It's 20.
20. Okay.
Yes.
But that was like 3 years ago. It may cost us some extra money. So I just need an update, because I mean we have all these things out here and we're not using the funds. I don't want to lose them.
So with the home improvement, we received 2 additional applications, and the purpose, the original plan for the home improvement was connected with the code enforcement. So as they were giving out infractions, the code enforcer should have been giving out applications for the home improvement. That's how we would have got that to be utilized quicker, but that didn't happen. So that's the process that we have to do. Now we have to make sure that when we're issuing those code enforcement infractions, that we have to also give them a home improvement application. And then we were discussing a Zoom training with, you know, with this distance thing. They were going to send us a template of another community, and then so we can put that on our web page, and also do a robocall and ask the residents to participate in that. So
Now,
it's
is that
almost like
for all residents or just those who have a citation?
all residents. But to get the program to work quicker, to utilize the money faster, the original conversation was we should be giving out those applications as the code enforcers were giving the infractions. So we figured that would make them, you know, the residents apply for it quicker, whether they knew about it or whether they were afraid to give us any information, you know, their personal information, because it is a long application. And it does ask about your financials and, you know, your account numbers and stuff like that. So some of our residents were kind of hesitant. So we figured if we combine the two programs, which they should have been in the beginning, that would get that money used up quicker.
So, Ms. Pope, then, or Mr. Dukes, what kind of infractions have we done through code enforcement? What kind of citations have we issued? Because I would think a lot of our citations may be for grass cutting and lawn, but are we citing for sidewalk repairs or gutters, siding? What are we citing for?
We're citing for all those things, Ms. Mitchell. I mean, yes, grass has been one of the major issues, but yes, we're citing for any of those things that, and mainly we're looking at the properties that are in disrepair and that are unsafe. Those are the things that we've been going after so far. And you know, in the conversation we had with the county community development division, you know, the ideal would be to offer the program to the people with violations. However, that's not ideal, being that most of the properties within the village that are in a state of disrepair are primarily, I said most, yes, are you know, owned by absentee landlords, and they wouldn't qualify. So basically, we're just, you know, looking at putting together some flyers and going out and trying to you know, encourage the neighborhood homeowners to come forward and apply for the funding. That's the key. Homeowners that actually live in their homes are the ones that need to come forward and apply. Now, if we're unsuccessful there, we may be able to talk with the county as far as altering the program to allow for even the landlord to apply for that money. I know there have been cases where that has been done, but I think it's more meant for homeowners in the low to moderate income range.
Okay, so we got $30,000, right? We thought we had 15. You mentioned last week that we've had some money since 2019. So do we have 15 or do we have 30?
Well, we have both. We still have funding from the 2019 year as well as the 2020 year, which the 2020 year didn't take effect until June.
Okay, okay, so do we have, okay.
I mean, we just got to get the word out, Ms. Mitchell. I mean, you know, if, you know, for the most part, the information has been communicated. We're going to go above and beyond and do some flyers and get out. You know, you have to understand that the service department is limited in what they can do as far as maintain the villages as well as get out and circulate flyers. But we're all going to kind of, you know, put our walking shoes on and try to get out and get the word out. As I ride through the village, I stop by and I speak with people outside of the residence and ask them if they're homeowners and tell them about the program. So we're trying to become a little more proactive and interactive about the program.
So we'll be doing a robocall soon?
Yes, we're going to schedule another robocall once we get the flyers and the workshop dates established.
I have some hands up. Ms. Charles Jeter.
Yes, are we looking at the seniors in the community that may not be able to get some things done, be a wonderful opportunity for them.
Well, it's available to anyone who owns a home, Ms. Jeter, and I guess the key is, how do we contact the seniors? If they don't reach out to us, what is going to be our point of contact? We're at the village. The program is available, so we just, need to have those homeowners make contact with us, either, by coming down or calling the village or going online to request an application.
All right.
Okay. And my question was just that, are we addressing our seniors out here? That was the only thing, not that it is for everybody. I already know that, Mr. Dukes, I'm sorry. But are we looking at our seniors, because we have a lot of them in the community that may need the help, but have absolutely no idea about how to get that information.
Well, Ms. Jeter,
I'm done.
Okay. Well, basically, Ms. Jeter, it's like I say, that's a whole nother area where we target the seniors. The program wasn't set up and established initially to target one particular group. It's just homeowners.
I thought, Mr. Dukes, I thought we was talking about right now. I didn't think we were talking about what has happened in the past. I thought we was talking about right now, this moment forward. How do we get to those seniors? And some of us in here know some seniors, Also, if you had a code enforcer that's all that they're doing, they would be able to find the seniors. If I sound a little disgusted, I apologize.
Okay, so looks like we're gonna have Ms. Faber, and then I think Vice Mayor, and then Mr. Daniels, it's you after that. Yes, Ms. Faber?
Okay, so my question has kind of already been answered, because I wanted to know if that was the what Mr. Duke was saying, that they were going to put that on hold. But while I was listening to you talk, I also remember, like, my tenants, they have applied through people working cooperatively and different organizations where they were able to get things done through those type of programs, even though they was not the homeowner. So I think that it would be good to look to the landlords to see what they need, or what code enforcement, what they could use that money for as well, because with the taxes being so high and the sewage being so high, and now we're talking about adding that something about the water that y'all voted on last time we were in a meeting. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So it would be good for them to use it as well, landlords that own property in Lincoln Heights.
Mayor, if I may respond. Yes, Ms. Baber. That's one of the things that I mentioned, that we may have to go back to the county and talk about expanding the program to not just homeowners, but landlords that are willing to participate in the program. As of now, that wasn't the initial goal, but I'm sure we can have that discussion and get back to you on that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Vice Mayor.
I forgot my question. Thank you.
I'll come back. Councilman Daniels?
Yeah, and Ms. Baber kind of hit up on it. Mr. Duke, you pretty much just answered the question. I think you're going to have to go back to Hamilton County on it, because I was going to ask, is there a way to expand the program in any way? Because if we're talking about homeowners, single homeowners, I think that first threshold is like $40,000. If you're just single, and if you're married, or if it's two of you guys in there, I think it's like 48. I might have the numbers wrong, but finding a way that figuring out yes, like Ms. Baber said, the landlords, if you rent, or other ways, maybe if you are a homeowner and you do live in Lincoln Heights, right? you know, maybe, and if you might, you know, you might make a little bit more than that. So I don't know, how do you cut that off? I know we want to make it specifically to try to help those out who are in need, but you might still be in need and be married and still make, you know, a little bit more than that. So it sounds like the answer to my question is you're gonna have to go back to the county anyways and figure out how to expand the program. Because I think we just might be, you know, not really hitting everybody when we just say those homeowners who only make 40,000. I think that might be rare a little bit.
Mayor, Mr. Daniels, yeah, being that the program is being funded with CDBG funds, those are hard, fast rules that they have to meet those income requirements. Now, we'll tell you this, we recently updated the application to reflect the 2020 numbers because originally it had the 2019 numbers, and the 2020 numbers are a bit higher. So those applications will be available. They're available at the village. So we'll look to add one online as well. And you know, the people can kind of come out and you know, see the application. So an application, or they can call us and access the information, or provide an email address, and we'll be happy to email it to them.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm clear, Ms. Baber. I'm sorry. I mean, Ms. Baber, Mayor Murphy. I just want to make sure I'm clear on what he said on that. So you're just saying that even if you're as Ms. Baber said, a landlord, those numbers on the prices are locked in, correct? Even if you're a landlord. Okay, yes. That's all. Thank you. Thank you.
Ms. Mitchell, and then Vice.
Yes, ma'am. So as far as the landlords are concerned, I just hope that whatever we do, if we go to that we make sure that we do not approve any landlord who is on our list with the Board of Revisions. Those who have said, I want my property devalued because the house is dilapidated. All right, so some of the landlords can well fix up something. I mean, $1,000 doesn't do a whole lot, and it definitely can't do landscaping. So it can't go towards any violations of a yard that's unkept. So I just think we just need to be careful when we start looking at giving something to landlords who have not taken the rent money and kept up the property. I just want us to be careful with that.
Well, you know,
go ahead, Mr. Dukes, go ahead.
Okay, Mayor, thank you. You know, I'm kind of finding that, you know, it may even be difficult, being that this is CDBG money, to extend it to the landlords. It's a conversation that can be had, but being that it's CDBG money, it has specific uses. And, you know, at this moment, I'm not leaning towards the landlords because I don't think, you know, it would be allowable, but that is not for me to determine at this point. I'll talk with the county and see what the, you know, options are.
Vice Mayor Stenson.
I think this conversation may have started with this resolution 25 or 26 or whatever, I think 25. My question about that is, since that's on hold and it has a deadline and they have control over what's on hold, what we can move forward with, do we have a list of, and these grants and things prioritized so we know what we need to work on first, what we're doing, so that we cannot lose out on any of the money for any of the grants? I did see that email at 6:05. I did see that email, but how do we be able to move forward so that we don't lose out?
Well, I guess, Vice Mayor, the biggest concern is to just move forward on the, you know, try to get the 2019 money spent as fast as possible, because like I say, the funding cycle for CDBG is from June to June, you know. So basically the 2020 didn't come online until June of 20, which was, you know, we were in the midst of COVID-19. So again, everything has been slowed up behind that as well. So, you know, it's a lot of factors that are contributing to why we are in the predicament we're in. But we are looking at things, and the code enforcement has been making some great progress. And I think, you know, we'll be working with the law director and the clerk of courts to begin to go after some of these property owners that are non-compliant with the village ordinances. So we do have that, I think, mapped out and figured out at this time, and look to begin moving pretty rapidly to resolve a lot of those issues.
Can we get a timeline though? Are they starting in a week, in 2 weeks? Because if somebody is telling you, we got this money for you, but you have to put this on hold until you spend this, I don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't, because I'm thinking if somebody gave me something to help me, I'm going to take care of what I needed help with.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, here's the thing, again, the processes just were not there in place within the village. The village has contracted many of the services outside of the village. So basically now it's coming back to where, okay, they want us to move these projects forward when in the past they have been, assisting, but with the COVID-19, they've kind of gotten behind and their staff is kind of overwhelmed with all the projects they're going. So now I guess it's incumbent upon us to get our code enforcement moving, and that's been the key. Now we have the ordinances and the policies and all the language and resources in place to begin to move forward. Before now, the stuff is there, but it was disassembled. It was scattered. So we've been in the last few weeks just trying to assemble all this information so that when we go after someone and demolish their property or access their property and send them a bill, we are justified and legally so.
Okay, one more thing, Mayor.
Okay. Bye.
What I've noticed, and I'm saying this, I want Lincoln Heights, the village of Lincoln Heights, to stop trying. Trying is an excuse to fail. Let's start doing. If we sit around and keep on saying, okay, well, I'm trying to do this, stuff always fall by the wayside. The 5 years I've been on council, that's what happens. We got to keep it moving. We got to keep it moving. I say this all the time. We need to keep our foot on the gas. We so slow motion. We are so slow motion on stuff. It's always about the policies. We got to stop. We got to keep it moving. We got to keep it moving. It's always an excuse for something.
Agree.
I got $500,000 sitting there. We ain't doing nothing. Let somebody give me $500,000. I'm not going to sit on it. I promise you.
Okay, I got two things I wanna inquire about. One has to do with the actual resolution, since we voted the first reading September 14th, with them putting it on hold. When it comes to legislation, reading the resolutions, we have the first, second, third reading. Mr. Desai, how will we proceed on this if they're telling us that it's going to be on hold? Do we table it, or do we go ahead through the process and get this particular resolution 25 done, voted on? What do you suggest?
Well, I missed the first part of the conversation at the beginning of the meeting. So we were hoping to pass it last time. The motion to suspend did not pass. Have we been told since then that we've missed the deadline, or they're not going to do it? What do you mean that they're putting it on hold?
Mr. Duke?
Yes, they've decided that right now they're gonna put a hold on the funding until the village works through some of the other funding out there, which it is not going to be difficult to do. I mean, we have several houses slated for demo, and it's just a matter of, I guess, you and I getting together, or you and Ms. Pope getting together to start the movement on removing those properties and utilizing those fundings, that funding. And then some of the money, a large share of the money, is attached to the school, which again is the county has been the driver of that pot of money, and we're just going along with the programs and projects that they present. So, but we do have the demolition fund and the traffic signal fund, as well as the code enforcement and home improvement funds that we are going to. I know we can take care of the code enforcement section, but we can only hope that the residents in the community and the homeowners will come out and take advantage of the housing program. But until we move with those things, they have stated that they're gonna temporarily just hold on assigning that funding until we move some of these other projects. Now, does that mean the funding is gonna be there? Does it mean it's not? That, again, that's another conversation with the county. They kind of make the rules as they go along.
Well, if they haven't told us it's a foregone conclusion that the money's gone, and that once we move through some of the other monies they provided, that they'd entertain doing this, I would say with that, let's go ahead and pass the resolution. Because what will happen if we get 6 months down the road, everybody's going to forget about it, including me, and we won't pass it. And then this MOU and the opportunity for getting funding for the land use planning will go away. So I would say, let's go ahead, if council is so inclined, pass the resolution, tender them, a signed copy of the resolution, and tell them, we're ready, willing, and able to move forward with this. You let us know when you are. That's how I would recommend proceeding.
I agree.
Okay, wait a minute, I got one more thing. Okay, so when we talk about the home improvement program, I do know the first of the year last year when we went and talked to them about it, it was set up to attract code enforcement issues with people, our resident seniors that needed some help, that will find themselves falling into code enforcement. So I think it behooves us to do a second boots on the ground, like we always do, to save the dates and approach those homeowners. We need to do that. And, you guys talk about gearing it toward rental property, but it's not set up that way. The funding is for our homeowners. And so we need to do a better job. I don't think personally that we did enough to make this home improvement program work, and we need to try. We got 3 more months of this year. We need to do better. We need to do better about trying to make this work. And it's not cold yet, so we need to reach out to them homeowners, let them know that we have this money. And then if we want to turn back around and see if there's something for renters. But I'm pretty sure when we went and had that meeting, it's not for renters. And they're going to want, it makes us look like we can't take care of how a grant is supposed to roll out when we try to tell them, well, it didn't work. No, we need to put a little bit more effort to try to make this home improvement program, because it's going to help a lot of seniors that their income is just not where they would like to fix at their home. So I think we need do a little bit more work and try to make this home improvement where we can have them do social distancing, come out, use Serenity Park, just like we use it for everything else, and have something like that, because we talked about it in the finance meeting, and we need to do a better job and try to make it happen. Ms. Jeter, you had your hand up.
Yes. The question is for Mr. Desai, or the statement is for him. We need a thorough explanation of the pieces that we're voting on, so we know the importance of a yes vote to get things done. Otherwise, we're losing money and opportunity to do something within the community. But if we don't, if I don't fully understand it, then I may not vote for it. And that's all I'm saying. Just in the council of the whole, tell us why we need to do this.
Ms. Childs Jeter, are you referring specifically to R25 or to something else?
To all pieces that we're I have to vote on.
Okay. Maybe the best thing to do then would be to just run through them. Jeannie, could you make me a host?
Am I the in charge of this meeting?
Or whoever is in charge, if they can make
Go
me a
ahead,
host.
Keith, make him a host. Ms. Jeter, they also are, the other two resolutions are under new business that we were
Okay.
gonna talk about.
We need to have conversations about why it's important for us to pass these things, you know, and some of us are going to still disagree, but you have complete knowledge and understanding of what that piece of legislation is about. Not only that, but for your community.
Right.
As they look at this, they want to know why. Because I get called, why somebody didn't vote for something? I cannot tell you that, but I'm going to ask for a thorough understanding of each one of those pieces that we're voting on.
Okay.
I'm not the host. It
Keith,
would be the mayor, if anybody.
Hey, Keith. Is he there? Can you make Mr. Desai the co-host so he can share his screen with us? We're gonna go over the three resolutions. Okay.
Working on it.
Thanks. All righty.
Mayor, can I make a statement before we do that?
Yes.
I hear us saying seniors, but we need to make it absolutely clear that this particular home improvement repair program is not just for seniors. It's for anyone who meets that income guideline.
We know, but I know someone said seniors and I wanted to put that out there. It's for whoever reached, you know,
meets the guidelines.
But we do know that the seniors, quite a bit of them fall into that category because they have an older home. And they're not able to do what they would like, but it's
with some newer homes, but
yeah,
I just want to make
but
sure.
it's for everyone that falls in the guidelines.
Thank you.
I think Ms. Baber had her hand up.
Yeah,
Ms. Babe?
yes, Mayor. I just wanted to answer what Ms. Mitchell was saying when she was saying that the landlords need to use their monies for home repairs. Like I said, we have to pay mortgage, we have to pay insurance. The water bill with the sewage is extra high. The taxes, you pass that. So that's high. And now talking about adding stormwater, and landlords' homes or apartments or whatever is in the community. So it still helps the community if the landlord is in need, because a lot of landlords' income is no more than what you're talking about anyway, but they're still making everything happen by the grace of God. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Ms. Chowsheet, is your hand still up?
It may be by mistake.
Okay. All right, Mr. Desai.
All right, so we have up here resolution 2020-R-5. As you can see, we had a first reading at the first meeting September on the 14th. It's titled a resolution authorizing the manager to execute an MOU with the County Department of Planning and Development for purposes of reviewing and updating the Lincoln Heights land use plan. So the first whereas clause basically says that, you know, there's a HUD program providing grants to do this. The second whereas specifies that the grants are for projects that will help identify future projects and jurisdictions that elect to participate in the grant program. Goes on to state that the Village of Lincoln Heights was awarded $20,000 of in-kind planning services for the purpose of updating the land use plan, and that land use plan will be used to help guide future development in Lincoln Heights. The County Planning Department will work through the Regional Planning Commission to provide support services to the village to facilitate the review and update of the land use plan and then to deliver a land use plan update document for approval by the village council. Section 1 there is authorizing the manager to sign the MOU with the County Development Department. It's attached as Exhibit A. We'll go to that here in just a moment. Section 2 is just the emergency clause saying that we need to do this ASAP so that the support services review can begin immediately. Let me stop sharing this and then I will share the actual MOU. So this is the MOU. And what it says is that it's the MOU between the County Planning Department and Lincoln Heights. The recitals basically go through what I just stated because the whereas clauses that I put into the legislation, I pulled those from this document. So they basically just say the same thing. I was a little bit more specific, which is why mine's a little bit wordier. But once you get to the agreement itself, it says that the village has been awarded $20,000 of in-kind staff time for the project. It is anticipated that the project will be completed by the end of the year. The scope of work, which is referenced there in Section 3, is really the meat of it because it explains what exactly they're going to do. And it just says in Section 4 that the agreement can be mutually terminated by the parties or any party unilaterally upon 30 days notice. So if you go to the actual scope of services document, this is where you see everything that they're going to do. So once again, what they're doing under the project description there is they're saying that they're going to review and update the existing land use plan. It's going to be a comprehensive review that would reflect the village's goals, take into account current zoning and development trends to hopefully come up with some strategies moving forward. The Hamilton County Regional Planning Commission, which is the acronym you see there under participants, are really going to be the the bodies on the ground. They're the ones who are going to serve as consultants to the village to facilitate the update process. They're estimating the cost to be approximately $20,000. They're estimating the time this will take to be approximately 6 months. And then here in the task and meetings, they lay out the items. So they're going to have an initial meeting. That's what bullet point 1 talks about, where they sort of meet and talk about how we're going to engage in this process. They'll attend that initial meeting with a land use planning committee, and they'll go through everything. They'll introduce who the players are. They'll lay out the rules in terms of how the process is going to go. There'll be mutual agreement on future meeting dates and times and benchmarks. So that's bullet point 3. I'm sorry, 2. Bullet point 3 is they're going to look at any trends, changes that have really occurred over the last 5 years, so from 2014 to 2019, and they'll prepare recommendations on an initial land use plan map for the land use planning committee to discuss, and they'll send those to them in advance of the next meeting. They'll then attend that second meeting of the land use planning commission or committee to discuss the proposed land use plan. They'll review some of the existing maps and zoning districts briefly and present their recommended changes. And then they'll get feedback and direction from the land use planning committee. The next step is to engage the public, if you will. So they're going to prepare mailings and send out notices to officials, large property owners. And the idea here is to have basically, as it says in that following bullet point, a public workshop to in part help the planning committee explain changes, to answer any questions, and to also get input from the people that come to the meeting. Then they're going to prepare a land use plan map and text document that basically is going to include the updated goals and strategies. They'll send out, a final draft for review. Then they'll eventually prepare and submit that to council and the manager. When that is submitted, they'll attend the council meeting to explain the process, where they were, how they got to where they are, answer any questions, and then prepare a final draft if there are any changes the council asks for, to be considered for final adoption. The final piece of this, Appendix C, is a breakdown of the hours and services. So as I mentioned, $20,000 is what they're estimating, but when they actually broke it down, they came back at an estimate of $18,750. So that's what's being proposed tonight for council under R25. Just a specific point to one of your comments, Ms. Childs Jeter. Just as the office of the law director, I'm neither recommending or not recommending that council adopt this. I was simply asked by the administration to put legislation together to have council consider authorizing the manager to sign the MOU. So I always want to state that, just because, that you as council members are the policy makers. You decide, the policies of the village. My job as the law director is to make sure things are done legally. I don't have, the proverbial dog in the hunt, if you will, whether it goes one way or the other. My job is just to make sure we do it properly. So if you want a recommendation on proceeding with this, I think that comes out of the executive branch, out of Mr. Duke's office, Ms. Pope's office. That's where, people will tell you why they think we want to do this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just wanted you to explain it, because if we don't understand it, you put it together. So I just need an explanation. Not only that, but the community, when they're looking at these, at these meetings. That's all. No, we're not asking you to recommend. We're just asking you to explain what you did.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, I have a question for Mr. Desai. So Mr. Desai, in here, it talks about, it has a date. And I think before you came, I had asked about the date. So even though we passed this tonight, if we should pass it, to show them that we're ready to move forward, that date can be changed, or are we locked into that date?
Well, from a contractual standpoint, as long as the parties are mutually agreeable to changing the dates, yes, it can be changed.
Okay.
As far as any government regulations on when the funding needs to be allocated and expended, I cannot speak to that.
Okay. The other question I have is that, can the mayor go ahead and appoint the ad hoc committee? I mean, it talks about the village land use planning committee. So I'm presuming that's a committee that the mayor would have to appoint as an ad hoc committee, because we do not have that committee.
Yeah, it doesn't really specify it. As I may have mentioned at our last meeting, I serve as law director in Sycamore Township, and we just went through this process there. What they did there is they allowed the township administrator, effectively their manager, along with their zoning administrator, which would be Don Mercer for us, our zoning plan examiner, to work together to come up with a group that they thought would provide some diversity and bring different skill sets. What they did is they posted it on their website. They announced at a meeting, in a public meeting, they were looking for people to populate this committee. They got a number of applications. They went through and vetted the applications, they being the zoning administrator and the township administrator. They vetted the applications and then put together a committee that they thought brought together a diverse group with good skill sets. And they then presented that to the Board of Township Trustees for approval. So the idea behind doing that was to let the administrative arm of the village that might be more immersed in this actually put together the group that they think might provide the necessary skill set and then bring it to the legislative body for approval. So that's one model. That's one way to do it.
So, but in doing that, they use just the individuals in the township, or did they go outside?
For that one, I believe they just did the township. Now, they also put together a finance advisory committee where they may have gone outside the township because they were looking for people with specific accounting and financial backgrounds. But yes, with regard to the land use planning committee, that would have been residents within the community. And let me rephrase that, residents and business owners within the community.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Sy. We're gonna go to the new business. So can you share the resolution number 20R26? It's accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
All right, so we have here resolution 20-R26. This is a first reading, as I believe the mayor may have mentioned. This is a resolution that we pass on a yearly basis. Basically, it is to approve the monies that the county says we're going to have available. So if you recall, back in June or July, we passed our tax budget. That tax budget was then submitted to the county auditor. The county auditor then takes it to the Budget Commission. The Budget Commission then approves the property taxes, the levies, the different things that we have that generate revenue, and they send it back to us. And what this piece of legislation is doing is approving that document that comes back from the Budget Commission, laying out what our, for lack of a better word, sources of revenue are. Now, there is attached to this schedules A and B, which are what we receive from the county that lay things out in detail. Let me go ahead and open that document up and see if I can share that. So this is, can everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, so this is Schedule A here. Summary of the amounts required from the general property tax approved by the Budget Commission and county auditors' estimated tax rates. So you can see that they give you different totals down here, both within and without or outside the 10 mil limitation. Gives you levy proceeds as well. And Schedule B, levies outside the 10 mil limitation. And so you'll see that there are different ones that we've passed. We have some from 2019. That's the expense levy. We've got the police, but different levies that we've passed, and then it itemizes what those revenues are. And so by approving this legislation, what council is doing is accepting these rates and these numbers that have been sent to us.
Any questions for Mr. Desai? Okay. All right. The next one will be resolution number 2020 R27. Resolution establishing a special fund for receipt of monies from the Economic Security Act program established by the Hamilton County Board of Commissioners.
All right, let me get to that one. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So as the mayor said, R27 is the resolution establishing a special fund. So our finance director, Ms. Donna Pope, asked me to draft this. She received word that the Board of County Commissioners were going to distribute the CARES Act funds through what they call the Economic Security Act program. And that there, as I reference here in the second whereas clause under the revised code, anytime we have a special fund or revenues coming from a source other than property tax, we have to establish a special fund for it. So Section 1 says there's created Fund 325, the 2020 Economic Security Act program. And if council passes this, what it will do is it'll create that special fund and allow the village to receive those monies and put them into that fund for purposes of expenditures authorized by the Economic Security Act program. But it basically has to do with the $169,000 we were getting through the CARES monies. Any questions about that? No, okay. And I think that's it for tonight.
Okay. All right, then after that. Next is a right-of-way acquisition for safe routes to school for 1054 Van Buren Avenue, Mr. Desai.
Yeah, so if you will recall, we got a Safe Routes to School grant that was going to allow us to do some things up there by the elementary school. We were going to put in a flashing stop sign. We were going to do some curb ramp improvements. And part of the land that was needed belonged to other people. One of the property owners was Princeton City School District. We just needed a sliver of their land, and their board agreed to sell it to us for $1, so that we could then allow the engineers and ultimately the contractor to construct the improvements. When the plan originally came out, it was slided as a W as in Wilma, D as in Deepak acquisition, which is a warranty deed acquisition. So the Princeton City School District provided us a deed to the property. Since that time, believe her name is Beth Sutherland, if I'm remembering correctly, but she is the right-of-way acquisition person that is helping the village with acquiring these various rights in these properties for the improvements. Her and her team determined that we actually didn't need to take ownership, and that for their purposes, in terms of getting the project done, they would prefer that they just be an easement. So what they are asking is, rather than Princeton City School District give us a deed or title to that sliver of property, that Princeton City School District simply give us an easement over the property for purposes of the improvements. I reached out to, Ms. Sutherland reached out to the Princeton City School District attorney who I'd worked with previously to get the deed done, and he indicated he thought that would be acceptable. The quote unquote problem is that we had already gotten the deed giving us the property, and I'd already submitted the boundary plat to the tax map office of the Hamilton County engineer for approval. So it's in process to actually transfer the property to us. So the question became, well, how can we reverse that, or how can we change that? And what Mr. LaFlamme and I have discussed is that once the tax map office gives their approval on the boundary plat, and we're then able to proceed with the recording of the deed, we would down the road, and this would not be too far down the road, we, the village, would then simply transfer the property back to Princeton City School District for $1, and they would then give us an easement. So we're not at that point yet, but I just wanted to get it on the radar of council so that when I brought it to council, it wasn't the first time you were hearing about it. Mm-hmm. We're still waiting on the tax map office to complete their review of the boundary plat, and we're probably going to need a signature to get that review completed. But I just wanted to let you know down the road, based on the request by Ms. Sutherland, again, the right-of-way acquisition person, to not do the ownership, but instead to just do an easement, we're effectively going to reverse what we did. But since it will be village-owned property, council will have to give its consent to that.
All right. Any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So I have some questions on the other properties that have to have, I guess, easements. So if you could explain that. There's something on Adams, two properties on Adams and a property on Van Buren. So is that for sidewalk? That's for street repair?
Ms. Mitchell, I'm not sure exactly what improvement is going on what parcel. I'm sure we can get that information for you if you'd like, but I do not know, as I sit here right now, which improvement is going on which parcel. Okay, well, yeah, so it doesn't have a page number on it, on the sheet that I'm on and looking through this. So it's just, you know, it talks about the density and you know, all the APN numbers, and it just gives the addresses. And so I'm assuming, and maybe incorrectly, that if anything is bought, is it bought out of the Safe Route to School money, or does the village have to do anything, like the property at 1153 Simmons? It says something about $7,000 or something like that. Yeah, so let me see if I can make this not too long a discussion. There was one property that had delinquent taxes on it. The value, the fair market value of the piece the village needed was under $200. ODOT's minimum offer to a property owner is $300. So ODOT said that it was going to offer the $300 to the property owner to see if the owner would then grant an easement. The concern that was expressed to me by Ms. Sutherland was, is the village okay acquiring an easement when there are delinquent taxes? Or would the village prefer to file an eminent domain action to acquire the property for a public purpose? So the latter approach would have required the expenditure of village monies, because we would have had to basically file a lawsuit, and then it's the typical lawsuit process. The easement seems like the better route, because when you have an easement, you're not acquiring an ownership interest in the property. You're simply acquiring a right to use the property in a specific manner. And that easement would transfer with any transfer of ownership. So whether or not there are delinquent taxes, quite frankly, we don't care, as long as we have the right via an easement to put our improvements on there and to then use those easements or those improvements pursuant to the easement for the long term. So that would be the approach I would recommend that the village would take on the specific parcel you're referencing that has the delinquent taxes on it.
Okay.
I guess the other question is actually a moot question, but I just want to mention it anyway. So, it talks about the property at Van Buren being that it is really in a non-conforming use because it's commercial in a residential area. I don't know, it just seems like some of this could have been brought to us earlier before now to understand what we would, or what I guess ODOT needs to do, but the village doesn't have to do anything.
As long as nobody directs me by a majority. So to do an eminent domain, there's a process, right? First, somebody has to direct me to draft a resolution of necessity. Then we have to send out a good faith offer and a notice of intent to acquire. There's a certain time period that runs for that. If the property owner doesn't accept it, then there has to be another resolution authorizing the village solicitor to file a petition for appropriation. That whole process, as you can tell, is going to be long and expensive. The easement route would not be. My understanding from Ms. Sutherland is that the property owner has agreed to provide the easement for $300. That would be an easement the village would have to install its improvements, and that easement would run with the land. So any subsequent transfer, that easement still is there.
Okay. All right, we're gonna move on to miscellaneous business. Thank you, Mr. Desai, for that clarification. All right, what'd you say, Miss Mitchell?
I said this is a lot of good reading we need to know. I mean, I just thought maybe I'll get with you, Mr. Desai, because I think it's something that we ought to go through in the committee so that we understand what is happening with people's property in the streets, just in case. At least I do want to know. So I'll get with you.
We want to know too.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't know whether we want to have, Tom Arnold come in, or his people, or the lady you're referring to, so that we really understand it as we go through and you look at the properties, and the little bit that they're taking gives you a good look at our properties.
Okay, sounds like a good idea. Okay,
Mayor, I got my hand up.
I'm sorry. It's gone again. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry, and I forgot about how to do it because this is new. But at any rate, I wanted to go back real quick to that resolution 2020 R25, and I just wanted to know, was they asking for more money, or is it just what we voted on?
Mr. Desai.
All right. So this is the resolution once again, which is the MOU with Hampton County Department of Planning and Development. So they're not asking for more money. What they're saying is that we got a grant for $20,000.
Wait a minute, excuse me, that's the wrong one. I thought that's what it was, because when I looked it up on my phone, it was talking about the levy. So that's the money, that's what I want to talk about. So what resolution is that?
So you're talking about, let me pull it up here. You're talking about R26.
Okay, thank you. When I look it up, it says R25, but if you say it's 26, then it's 26. I wanted to talk about the levy money though.
Okay.
So so is it more money? Are they saying that they're going to be taking more money, or is it what they've been taking the whole time?
I don't think it's either. It's just saying that this is the money that the village is expected to get from its property taxes, and this is the money.
Is it the same money? That's my question. Is it the same money, or will it be something different now?
May I answer that?
Please.
Yes,
Whoever can answer.
Go ahead.
Councilwoman Baber, what that is us accepting that the board approved our 2021 tax budget. That's all that is. It's not any more money or any less money. It's there. When we sent down that tax budget that's required every year by every municipality, the board approves it, and then they send us a resolution saying, okay, yes, we approved your numbers and we accept your numbers, and you have to accept, the village has to accept their numbers, which is our numbers. If it sounds so confused. So it's not any more money involved. It's just them approving our 2021 tax budget.
Okay, well, they should say that and not say levy money, because it's talking about that levy money that we voted on. That's why I'm asking a question. According to the resolution.
Yeah, and the tax budget includes all of our levies. So yes, they are talking about the levy money, but it's not an increase or anything they're adding on to you.
So the levy monies will remain the same, which is my question once again.
Yes.
That's okay. Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Baber. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
All righty. Okay, if there's any other questions? Okay, then there's
Mayor, before you move on, I would like to talk about the front office and no one in there to answer the telephone. I am asking that the manager hire a temp person in there, because the village is calling me to complain, and then I have to find the people they're complaining about. So you just need someone in there, temporary position, until they hire someone, or they may want to keep the temp.
So is that going to be who's the?
There's no motion. It's no motion needed. No motion right now. I just wanted to have a brief,
for the regular meeting. Yeah,
a brief conversation about this. If anybody else feel the same way, when they call me, I'll give them your telephone number.
I've had the same. I've had a couple.
Yeah.
Call and say, well, not only not answering, but not calling back. So do we have some type of, doesn't the phone ring over to one of the other offices? So if you dial in one to get the manager and he's not there, does it automatically roll over to Ms. Pope? It should. You know,
I think Mr. Pope, I think Ms. Pope or Mr. Dukes can answer that, but I agree. I'm getting the same calls as well. Mr. Dukes, are you on? There you go.
Yes, I'm here, Mayor. basically, yes, we've been talking with PowerNet and working with them to transfer the cost to in the order. I was speaking to Ms. Pope about that today, how hopefully in the next day or two, we should be able to have it transferred to, since we're short staff right now, transfer to Ms. D's office, then Donna's, and then Lisa, and then the clerk of courts, so that, and we may, being that the clerk of courts is not there on Mondays, we may order it to transfer to her on Tuesdays a bit earlier. So we're just trying to work out the details of how we fill that void for right now.
We pay PowerNet a lot of money. That's a lot of money we pay them. They should be able to do that like that.
So for me, so Mr. Dukes, Miss Childs Jeter, her concern is that we really need someone at that front desk, even though the phones are going redirecting. We really need someone at that front desk, and it's not like we don't have the monies. And I know that the residents are expecting someone to pick up that phone. Is there a reason why we cannot get a temp?
No problem. I think we can get a temp. What Ms. Pope and I were trying to do, we were hoping that the council had come close to deciding and finding my replacement, so that they could kind of come in and hire that administrative assistant that they would feel would best serve the needs of the village and assist them in their duties. So we were trying to kind of hold out for that, but being that we're getting so much, missed call, getting so many missed calls, I think Ms. Pope and I will begin to work on that now. It'll still probably be a couple of days, being that, Ms. Pope is going to have some dental work, and things of that nature. So she handles the Indeed account and the contracting with the temp agency. So it's just, when she'll be able to get back in there, unless Ms. Randolph has that capacity to assist us with identifying that person, temp person.
Miss Jeter?
Yes, when they send out a temp person, they've already been vetted if you use the right company. And that person may be someone who you might want to stay on, in that position. So it is an opportunity to put someone in that space. Okay. And, of course, that is my opinion, but I don't know, and I know we use each other, but everyone we talked about is busy. Miss D is busy trying to find us some more money. She's done a wonderful job with that. Miss Randolph is busy trying to do the minutes and get them out to us. Miss Pope, if she was there, is busy with finance and other things within the community. So you have people that are already doing stuff. So I see no reason why you can't hire that temp.
Not a problem. We'll take care of that and get a temp in there. Being that we definitely got to make sure the village voices are heard. So that's no problem. Hopefully we can get someone in there before the end of the week. Okay,
because the citizens are angry right now. They are upset. I said, well, wait a minute, let me try to help you since you called me. And then I have to listen to about an hour and a half or whatever it is. And that's taking up my time. You can write me a check for that. And Miss Mitchell and the mayor.
All about service.
It's all about service. It is all about service. But you shouldn't commit your whole day to that service when you have service to do for something else, like the safety piece.
We'll get it taken care of.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, if there's nothing further, is there a motion for adjournment for the committee of the whole?
So moved.
It's been moved in second. Did I get a second? I didn't get a second. I got it moved. Is there a second?
Second.
I second it.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Baber. It's been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, no nays. All right, we're gonna go straight on to the regular council meeting. Village of Lincoln Heights, regular council meeting. Today's date is Monday. September 28th. The time is 8:02. Roll call, Ms. Randolph.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Councilwoman Phyllis Baber.
Present.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Present.
Councilman Durance Daniels.
He just
Council-
left. He's not on the thing.
Okay, I'll come back to him. Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin Williams.
Present.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell. Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell, please. I
Present.
can't hear you. Thank you.
Okay.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson. Vice Mayor Jeannie,
What?
present? Are you present? We're doing roll call for the,
Well, I just jumped back in. I didn't know what was going on, Ms. Randolph. What's going on?
doing roll call for the council meeting.
Present.
Mayor Ruby Kenzie Mumfree,
Present.
Councilman Durance Daniels.
Present.
We have 7 who are present. We do have a quorum.
Okay. All right. Ms. Childs Jeter, could you honor us with a prayer, please?
Okay. Father God, we come to you decreasing so that you can increase and help us to get through this meeting, Father God. I ask for your mercy and your kindness as we go about today's business. And Father God, I want to thank you for all that are on the Zoom meeting today. Thank you for yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and that whatever business that we do it so that it will be pleasing in your eyesight. In your precious name, I say thank you.
Amen. Thank you.
And amen.
Amen. Okay. All right. Motion for acceptance of the present agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion in order for filing of the journal for the committee of the whole meeting minutes from September 14th, along with the regular council meeting minutes from September 14th. Motion in order for the necessary corrections. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Baber and second by Mr. Daniels. Let the record show Mr. Daniels is in the meeting. Ms. Randolph?
I was at roll
Yes.
call.
Yeah,
Wasn't
he's
that
at roll call.
Oh, I thought he
Came
came
in.
out.
Came in at the end. Came back.
Oh, okay. All right. I had my head turned. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Announcements. Okay. Mr. Daniels, any announcement for you?
No.
Mayor.
no.
Mayor, you
What?
didn't finish the part of the motion.
Oh, he motioned, Ms. Baber motioned and he second. Oh, it's, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just moving along. Okay, it's been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it. All right, Mr. Daniels, any announcement?
No announcement at this time, Madam Mayor. I'm so, no, actually, I'm sorry. I take that back. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah.
We'll have a meeting then. So on October the 6th, there'll be a public hearing at downtown Cincinnati.
Okay.
Residents are welcome to join via in person or virtually. If you need that information, I'll pass it along. I hope we can put that on our website. But this is a CPD gun range public hearing that'll be coming out of PG Sittenfeld's committee. That'll be October 6th at 6 p.m. Once again, residents are encouraged to give any testimonies that they have on this gun range. That'll be October 6th at 6 p.m. at City Hall.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought it was at 2, but thanks, Mr. Daniels.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Next is Ms. Child Jeter. Any announcement?
Yes, yes, yes. All of those that have not completed the census, please do so. It's coming to an end. So I haven't heard of an extended month. So make sure you get this in by the 30th. Also, vote, and voter registration is on October the 5th. Early voting starts on October the 6th. And you can vote in person or you can vote by absentee ballot. So that is my announcement. Also, I want to say thank you to all who have come along beside me or been my co-partner, Ms. Kathy Goodwin Williams, and of course, Mayor, and all of you. You've been very good with helping us get the word out about voter registration and also about the census. Unfortunately, all of the Village of Lincoln Heights not completed. I think we're in the 50s, but we're not there by ourselves because most communities that reflect us or look like us, the numbers are low or lower. I believe that Cincinnati is even in the 50s. So we need to push this. If you know people, call them and remind them, or just call them, period. And to let them know that we will be missing out on some funds. So any grants that come through here, we need to go ahead and vote on them. So that because we're going to be shortchanged. And the reason why we're going to be shortchanged is because everyone will not complete that census. So again, I say, need your help for the next couple of days is to remind people to fill out the census, and thank you for your service.
Mr. Desai, I saw your hand up.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Ms. Childs Jeter, my understanding is there's a deadline to request an absentee ballot. Do you know what that deadline is? And is there an online process to do that?
You can go online and it's all according to what state you live in, and you can pull that absentee application off, fill it out, and you can send it to the address listed at the top, or you can take it there. The absentee part, you can go almost to voting. I think about 5 or 6 days before voting. They ask you to do it much earlier than that. You know, and you don't have to mail it. Everybody's concerned about mailing. Just drive through there. If it's Hamilton County, you just drive through the drive-through and drop it off and keep rolling. You know, so yes, and you go to your county board of elections, and it will tell you all the times that they're open, and they have a couple of Sundays in there, so there are no excuses. You know. Can't tell you how to vote, but I can tell you where to go and do it.
Yeah, I know, like, for example, in the state of Kentucky, October 9th is the deadline to request an absentee ballot. So
yeah,
we're fast approaching probably the deadlines in many states, Ohio being one of them. So if you're going to do that, you need to do it soon.
Yeah,
October 30th.
October 30th. Yeah, so you can go up all the way to that point so they can get that ballot to you, and you can take over there and give it to them. The post office is kind of crazy right now, and it's not due to the postal workers, it's due to all the other stuff in the atmosphere. So I suggest that whatever you have, just drive it by, drop it in. Hope that helped you, Mr. Desai.
All right, thank you. Ms. Faber, any announcement for you?
No announcements, thank you.
Okay, I just had a question to ask you. Did you want to talk about Lincoln Heights Day 2021 or looking for volunteers? Where'd she go?
Yes, we are still looking for volunteers for Lincoln Heights Day 2021.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Miss Goodman Williams, good to see you.
Hey, how's everybody doing? I just wanted to announce to our residents, those who don't already know, tonight is my last night. This is my last meeting as council member here in the village, but just know I'm not going anywhere. Just made the decision that I would be of better service on the other side of the table. So I have some opportunity to do some other things in the community. I can't really talk about it right now, but stay tuned. Thanks.
All right. Okay. All right. Who's next? Vice Mayor Stinson. Any announcement?
I have no announcements.
Okay. Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, ma'am. So the pantry is this Saturday, being held at Lincoln Heights Missionary Baptist, being hosted by Mount Moriah. Same time, 9 to 11. I just want to touch on the census. September 30th, I believe, is the last day to complete it. And we've been talking about Cdbg money tonight. So our allocation, if we ever wonder, well, why did we only get this amount? We got the 3-year Cdbg money allocation coming up. They have a formula based on population. So if we don't have a lot of folks signing up to say they live in Lincoln Heights, our funds are affected by that for real. So if we think we should get 300,000, if we apply for that and we only get 125, it is based on population, not by any other thing else, not comparison with any other community about the project. We could have the same project, but it's based on how many people were going to be serviced by that project. So got till September 30th to get that in.
They are, I want to add to that, they are trying to extend it by 1 month, but you have people that are not working with the organization. So COVID has created a problem for us for collecting all of the data, and people are not answering their doors. It's an injustice to the community and to yourself. You know, in addition to what Councilwoman Mitchell talked about, you also have to talk about the school. The school gets money. So we need to really push in the next 2 days to get this thing done. Let's stand up, folks. Stand up for the community. After all, Amity Village will get their money, and Indian Hills and Wyoming. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Duke, any announcement for you?
No, Mayor, not at this time. Thank you.
All right. I was looking for Ms. Pope, but I didn't see her. I have an announcement. I just wanted to thank Commissioner Driehaus, Commissioner Parks, and Commissioner Summer Dumas for the resolution that they partook on the 24th of September. The resolution was to join the city of Cincinnati, surrounding communities and other stakeholders in prioritizing the closing of the Cincinnati Police Gun Range. Now, we know that they can't close it, but they had a resolution, and we just wanted to put it out there that now it's up for this to the city of Cincinnati to do what needs to be done. Great work, Councilman Daniels, Goodwin Williams, Jeannie Stinson, and everyone that has put their foot on the pedal to get the word out on the injustice that the village of Lincoln Heights has endured for decades. So I just want to put that out there, that we need all of us, and we are appreciative that you all are standing with your foot down to help us work, all of us work together to make this come into to happen, but we do know it's more work to do. And so I just want to thank everybody and announce that to the residents that we're moving forward with everybody's help, because all of us are playing a part, some form or fashion.
And Mayor, this has been going on for years, so it's time. It's just the right time. Yeah,
just the timing. So I just wanted to put that out there. Looking forward to October 6th, and we're gonna move forward. So that's the announcement that I wanted to say. Okay. So we're gonna move on to our speaker, Ms. Deborah Robb. Thank you for diligently waiting for us to move. So we want to thank you for coming, and I'm going to open up the floor for you.
Thank you, Mayor Mumphrey. As you know, the Homesteading and Urban Redevelopment Corporation came to you back in October to get community support to build 4 houses on Jackson Street to apply for a grant with the county to receive funds to help us build those houses. I am happy to announce that we have received the funds. We were initially given $200,000 to cover the gap between the cost for construction and the actual sales price for the houses. Since that time, the county has allocated another $100,000 to us for the 4 houses. So we'll be able to subsidize each house by about $75,000, which is great for the community, for the village of Lincoln Heights. We are in the process of, we have already have the designs for the houses. We are in the process of getting, we have to do some lot consolidations and then lot splits in order to be able to build on the lots that we are acquiring. We acquired from the Hamilton County Land Bank, and we are acquiring one from the village that was the name of the village CIC. So we're working through that process. We are focusing on the corner of Jackson and Douglas so that we can make an impact on that corner first and hopefully apply for more money to do more houses throughout the community. I do have a rendering and a floor plan of the house if you'd like to see that. If I can share my screen.
Yes, Keith, could you have Ms. Robb co-host so she can share a screen?
Yep, hold on one second.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Should be good to share.
Okay. Let's see. There you go. I don't know if you can you see that? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the rendering of the outside of the house. And if you've driven past the house on Chamberlain, you'll be able to see the house. This is the similar house to that house, a little bit smaller though. And then here's the floor plan. And can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So it will have a 1-car garage, laundry coming in off the garage, a large living room, dining area, kitchen, half bath on the first floor. And then on the second floor, we'll have 3 bedrooms, a large master with the large bathroom and walk-in closet, and then a bathroom to be shared by the other 2 bedrooms. It will also have a full basement as well. And then just so you can see where we are focusing on Jackson, this is the corner. It's these 2 lots here, and then another lot, the 2 lots across the street on the corner of Douglas and Jackson. try not to share everything I have open. Okay, that's all.
Okay. Is there any questions for Ms. Robb? I can't see everybody because, so she opens.
I have a question, Mayor.
Okay, yes, Vice Mayor?
Will those be, is that gonna be a Jack and Jill bathroom?
No, it's not a Jack and Jill bathroom.
And how much are the homes worth again?
The homes will be built for about 200,000, and then we'll be able to sell them for about 125, 130.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Where would be, Miss, get this question before I get, I'll be right with you, Miss Jeter, because I can't see because she's still on the screen, but what would be the square footage of each house?
They are 1,800 square feet.
Okay, all right. Miss Charles Jeter?
Yeah, I was just thinking, could you have added a 2-car garage to that?
We would have had to, the lot size won't allow us to add a 2-car garage in the front.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Have they possibly thought about bringing it on the side from Douglas? Where some garages go on the side of?
So actually, there is another lot between our houses and Douglas that we don't own.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Mayor,
I can't see the hands. I can't, there you go. Yes, Miss Mitchell.
So Ms. Robb, how you doing?
I'm fine, how are you?
Good. So where exactly are the 4 lots?
They are on the corner of Jackson and Douglas. So there's 2 on one side of the street and 2 on the other side of the street.
They both face Jackson?
They both face Jackson, yes.
And what is the size of the lots?
The lots are 40 feet wide.
Okay, so there was, I guess this kind of goes back to the 2-car garage. So there was no way that you could, I know, so you're building up, but you could not go a little further, like 50
I can check with the architect. Unless we made the garages tandem, they were saying that it was going to be a problem building a 2-car garage because of the lot size.
Okay, well, not just a 2-car garage, just additional footage. I know that everything south of Van Buren is 40 foot, but if we could begin to expound that footprint, you know, gives you a little bit bigger house, maybe a little bit more yard.
Well, based on the cost to build, especially with the cost of lumber going up so high, we had to really try to mitigate the cost and try to keep it affordable as well.
Okay, and so do you all provide the funding, the banking?
Yes, we will be funding the cost and then getting a reimbursement from the county.
Okay, but I mean, do you set it up for is it first time homeowner? Do you have the bank come out and work through the loans with the individuals?
We will have banks come out and talk to individuals in the community. We also have applied for down payment assistance up to $5,000 for buyers as well.
Thank you.
And they'll be able to work with working in neighborhoods for home buyer counseling.
And what banking institution are you looking at?
We're not looking at any specific one right now. I know Union Savings has some programs going on. So whatever banks would be that have the available funds to be able to add more funds to for down payment assistance are who we're going to look to.
Thank
you. Okay. Any other questions for Ms. Robb? Ms. Jeter?
So you're going to sell them for $125,000.
125, 135 between that, yes.
But the value of the house will be at $200,000.
Yes.
So do they have
to build will be 200,000.
So if they decide they want to sell, what would they sell it for?
because these are affordable, and based on the funding, they could sell them for 125 or a little over that, whatever they purchased it for, or whatever the affordable rate is for the Village of Lincoln Heights, but they cannot sell it for 200,000.
Okay, I just wanted to know, I'm trying to figure out how my property value is gonna go up. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Ms. Goodwin Williams.
Ms. Charles Jeter stole my question, but
I'm sorry, I'm good for that, baby. I'm good for that.
okay, that's okay. But I had a comment too. I've been inside of the one on Chamberlain and it looks awesome. You know, walk through, and just looking forward to building some more affordable houses in the community.
We're looking forward to doing these 4 and acquiring more land to do more.
Please add the 2-car garage.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I looked at the one on Chamberlain, and actually I think originally there was supposed to be a 2-car, what do you call it when they're back to back?
Tandem,
yeah. So, but yeah, it would be nice to have 2-car garage, but I understand that the space doesn't allow.
right.
that.
And the reason he could have done tandem was because the elevation of the house, and it's on a hill.
Right.
Where ours, the land is flat, and in order to be able to have a basement as well, opted to have the basement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So are the houses, because I remember when you came and spoke, so some of our questions might be repeat, but we're asking. So, because we recognize that some of the residents may not know, so we may have some repeat questions because we want to make sure that everyone knows that you're here, that you're coming, and that it's going to be a beautiful space. But I did want to find out, is the house going to be any brick or all siding like the one on Chamberlain, which is beautiful?
So I haven't seen the one on Chamberlain, but it's the same builder. So we'll try to put some brick on the front as well, and siding.
Yeah. So
I haven't seen the ones lately. I told him I plan to be there on Friday just because I haven't been in there in a while.
Yeah, it's very nice. I was there. I went before they put the porch on, and he was a very nice young man. And as anyone, if you haven't had a chance to stop by, he will welcome you to come and check it out. It's a wonderful job. So we're glad to see him in the village, helping us move forward. I can't wait.
Thank you.
Mr. Daniels, you got anything you want to say? I see just your microphone, so I want to make sure that I recognize that you may have a question or something.
You're fine. I just appreciate Mr. going through and following up with this. I'm excited, like everybody else, about the development, and it's exciting times for the village.
Okay, Ms. Baber.
It sounds good, and I'm right down the street. I'm right here at Adams and Douglas, so I look forward to the new homes because I need for my property value to go up. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Vice Mayor, you good? All right.
I have a
Mr.
question.
Dukes?
Yes, ma'am. I have a question. Ms. Rob, are you all planning to put some type of covenants in place for the homeowners to ensure that they uphold the standards, high standards for cleanliness of the properties?
Yes.
If you have some covenants that you would like for us to include, we can have our attorneys look into seeing if that's possible to do.
Okay, I will talk with the council and the solicitor and see if we can't come up with the law director, Mr. Desai, and see if we can't pull together something for you.
I do know that for the first couple of years, I have to monitor the houses to make sure that the original homeowners are still there, and if they have sold them, that they have sold them and have promised to keep them affordable because of the funding that we received for the houses. So we will be monitoring them for the first couple of years.
Okay, because I asked because, you know, we're seeing at the Habitat houses, people are already bringing inoperable vehicles and things of that nature. So, and some of the houses are you know, are repair business in the driveway that we're combating. So, you know, these type of things to make sure that they're not going to bring inoperable vehicles and make sure they mow the lawn and things of that nature.
Right.
Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Ms. Robb, so is there a clause that states how long they have to live there before they have an opportunity to sell?
There's no clause that says how long they have to live there, but there is a clause that says that the house has to stay affordable for 15 years.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Is anything else from Ms. Robb? All right. Well, thank you so much for coming, and we're looking forward to keeping communication lines up with you. One thing, is there a date for when the first one's they're gonna start digging?
We just have got the lot splits today, so we will be bidding it out next week. And so I hope to start construction before the end of October.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All righty. Let's see. All right. So we're gonna, after that, okay. So we had hearing for the residents, but I didn't get a report. So Miss Randolph, did you get anyone that wanted to speak?
No, Mayor.
Okay. All right. Next would be then communication to council from the clerk of council.
Don't have anything at this time.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. And next would be communication from the mayor. I don't have I haven't gotten the September numbers. I won't get that till the end of the month. But I did want to communicate that today was a mandatory meeting for the 2021 and 2023 Cdbg requests, which what we apply for every 3 years. So that was a mandatory meeting, and I was on the Zoom meeting for that. And I'll be giving more information on that at our upcoming meetings, but I just wanted to let you all know that I did attend. It was one of those meetings that someone from the village had to be on the line. So I was on the line and I got information, and I will be sending the information that was given. I'll send that by email so everyone will know as far as public hearings that we're going to have. And also it will give you the dollar amounts like Ms. Mitchell had mentioned about our community based on the population, how much our communities, and it will show you all the different communities of what we're expected to receive. Also, they mentioned about the Cdbg CV grant, which is $100,000, and it's going to be geared toward parks. So we'll be talking about that possibly. I'll get that information for recreation to talk about because this particular grant is going to be just for parks, sidewalks, and they also talked about ADA parks, what they call them, accessibility for handicap. And I was amazed at the different types of what they can have for kids with the ADA playground. So when I send that information to you, there's a slide in there and you'll be able to see the particular how the ADA playground looks, where we may want to incorporate that into the village. I do know that we have the NatureWorks grant for Memorial Field, but I'm sure we'll be talking about how we can utilize and apply for that grant to help even add more to Memorial Field. So that's the communication I just wanted to give, not a report, but just some information for us to talk about in our upcoming committee meetings.
Mayor, do we know when the deadline is for the application?
For the application, looks like it's,
November.
yeah, November, it's, November 23rd.
We got a lot to do.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So, all right. So next would be communicate.
Mayor,
I'm
I
sorry.
have my hand
Yes,
up.
ma'am. I'm sorry.
These meetings are these open to anybody?
This particular one was for like the village manager, finance director, and they sent it to the mayor. So someone had to be in attendance because it was a mandatory meeting. But
Can you forward that information on to the village manager so that they could be there the next time?
Yeah, I'm not sure why they wasn't there at this one because they sent it out a while ago. But I'll send that information out even to council. And I can also have them come and speak about the particular grant because they're more fluent in the process than I am. Yes, Mr. Dukes?
Yes, Mayor. I think, a few days ago, we were on a Zoom meeting with Jo and her staff regarding the Cdbg funding, and we did go over a lot of the things, a lot of the information that was covered in the workshop. So I think, we're in tune with that. And being that the application deadline is in November for the CV grant, it'll be ideal to kind of look at how it can expand what is going to be done on Memorial Field. I have a meeting. I guess this will be a good time to inform you that CT consultants have agreed to give us some level of pro bono design services for Memorial Field. So we'll be able to ask them to give us place a monetary value on that service so we can use that towards our match contribution, as well as utilize some of the funding. Well, with the match, that will eliminate our match and give us more money and opportunity to put more of that money in the actual project. So we're going to be meeting with, it'll probably be myself, meeting with Stephanie Roberts and her design guy on the field Wednesday. I'll send out that invite to anyone who wants to show up and provide input. So that I think it may be 9 or 10 a.m. or somewhere in there, or I'll send out the invite. So if you'd like to be there to kind of give some suggestions, we could explore those ADA playground equipment and accessories. And that's something that we can ask the designer to consider as he's suggesting some preliminary recommendations.
Could you also, I know in the finance meeting last week, Ms. Mitchell had inquired about getting a list of all those grants that are out there so we can, and Vice Mayor mentioned it tonight, we would like to get a report showing exactly what's out there, what the deadlines are, because I know time is moving and we want to make sure that we don't miss any grant funding. It's sounds like about 4 different grants that's out there. And we would like to know exactly what's out there, especially since we're talking about putting a hold on this other one for a while. So could you get that to us by Thursday?
Yes, I'll get you all that information on the grants, what's available now and those deadlines.
Right, exactly like the ones that we have out there for the village.
Yeah, and Ms. Pope sent out an update earlier from our conversation with Joy Pearson as far as the Cdbg money and what the plans are moving forward on those particular projects. So, but we'll expand that list. We'll expand that list tomorrow or at least by Thursday.
I have a question.
Yes, Vice Mayor.
Can that list grow if they stop some stuff? That doesn't make sense to me. Can we keep applying if they told us that our stuff is on hold?
Well, I think they can still commit the funding and allocate it to us, but they won't release it until we've cleared up some of these other pots. I think that was the whole gist of, the hold and the discussion that we had. regarding them. But if we can kind of get some pretty quick movement in the next week, then maybe we'll be successful in securing additional funding, because we had already talked to Joy and her staff about adding some additional funds to the CDAP grant to cover the I guess the asbestos remediation at the former high school. And you know, we could apply for 300,000. There's 185 remaining, and perhaps if you know, the estimate that they have for the remediation is 500,000. And my inquiry was that based on estimates from companies? And I was informed that that was the ballpark range that the county engineer came up with. But we may find that we get better rates once we put the project out to bid to get it done. And if the village needs to contribute a few dollars above, maybe I guess that'll provide 485,000 if we get to 3. And if it's 500,000, you know, would the village be amenable to adding that $15,000 to $20,000 more to complete the project? That's been the discussion. So they haven't ruled out giving us additional money. It's just that, you know, they're just kind of want to ensure that we go ahead and move forward with all these other projects that are on the table.
Ms. Mitchell, I thought I saw your hand up.
Yes, ma'am. So Mr. Dukes, is there a possibility that if we can't make get the removal of the asbestos because of the price, is there a way that we can, I guess, repurpose the money, amend the grant to use it for something else so that we don't lose it?
Well, you know, that's a decision and conversation we have to have with community development. That was one of the comments that, you know, Joy made during our Zoom meeting, that we may be able to look at the potential to shift some of the money in other areas if we are unable to use it in one area. So that could be a possibility. But again, we have to talk to them and determine if what they're gonna allow and what they're not gonna allow.
So it would just kind of behoove council to just begin thinking about what else would we like to do with that. What we have now, 185 is what we have left, something like that.
That's what we have left.
Okay, I'm just saying that if that's a possibility, we don't want to waste time trying to come up with something else. We probably should have been doing that all along, because.
Well, I think, Ms. Mitchell, if that, see, in the beginning discussion, they didn't agree to adding additional funding, and now they're saying that's a potential, you know, possibility that they can add funding, you know, next year to help move that project along. So it's just a matter of, you know, what's allowed and what's not. So we just have to kind of go with the flow as designated by the county right now. But I, you know, in my experience, I understood that, you know, you can, you know, successfully bankroll the CDBG funds to accomplish a larger goal if you know, that's the desire of the community. But again, the person that controls the funding, you know, has to be a part of that decision.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, so if there's nothing further, I guess that was communication from the village manager. We just going on, but I know we didn't have anything in writing, any written reports. So that's why I just rolled into communication, talking with you. Okay. Well, I did send the clerk something in the end that she'll be able to share with everyone, but I did prepare just, you know, something written just to kind of talk a little more about the imperative or the you know, critical need to add a snow vehicle to the fleet for this winter. As you know, last year the
service department had a difficult time, and it was a light winter. It was a difficult time being able to keep up with the demands of the snow and treatment of the roads, because they were having so many malfunctions with the vehicles. And we only have that one primary vehicle to to deal with the snow. The other one, it has a plow, but it has a host of things that's wrong that need to be repaired. Prior to, we just put $7,000 into our primary vehicle, getting the new spreader on the back, because the old one had torn up, and it still needs a lot more work to be ready. It may need some front end work. So, and the secondary vehicle is in need of a transmission. And, from what the service lead has indicated, it needs extensive work beyond the transmission, which could has had extensive work already in the, tens of thousands of dollars for that vehicle. So with this winter foretelling of a harsher winter, I just think that, it would be in the council's and the community's best interest to go ahead and acquire the vehicle. Here's the case though. The 3 quotes that were obtained, the lowest and best bidder has the vehicle on hold for the village, but it can only hold it for, finite amount of time. So it's looking for us to either issue a PO so that we can begin the purchase process, or they're gonna sell it. And then if that's the case, it may be March or April of next year, even if the village decides to move. Once the vehicle is gone, it'll take 6 months for them to fit and prep another vehicle for the use of snow removal. So as far as I know, I'll have to confirm it tomorrow, but the vehicle was still being held until the council can make a decision as to whether or not it want to authorize the purchase of that vehicle. As you all know, the service department was caught having to try to manually throw ice on intersections. They were several occasions we had to get the assistance from Princeton to clear some of the roads because of the malfunction of the vehicles that we have. So it's just a decision that the council was going to need to make, being that winter is fast approaching. So I just wanted to make sure I threw that out and recommended that the council do add this to the fleet, because it's definitely something needed. You won't have any worries about, there will be no mystery as to why the crew wasn't out, because last year we were getting calls and they weren't out because they were somewhere trying to fix the equipment to get out. So it was just one problem after another last year to try to kind of keep up with the pace of the snow. And that was a light year.
Well, Mr. Duke, I do recall, I know Ms. Jeter had her hand up, but I do recall that we, okay, yes, you do. I just wanted to, since he's talking about the trucking. So I do recall that we had paid for some trucks to get serviced for winter. They were getting winterized. Is one of the trucks in bad shape? One of the ones that were getting winterized?
Well, the one that we've gotten winterized, that's our best truck. So, it didn't have the bed wasn't lifting, so that's been repaired. The strobe lights weren't working, that's been repaired. The salt spreader was, done with and had to be replaced. So, and even in doing so, that vehicle, that was at the cost of about $7,000. But that vehicle, from what I'm told by the service lead, is that vehicle still needs some front end work on it as well, being that it's carrying that heavy plow on the front. So, That's to date our most reliable vehicle. Our secondary vehicle, the dump bed is no longer works, so it won't be able to tilt to allow the salt to fall into the spreader. The transmission is about gone, so it may last through the winter, or it could malfunction and completely go out at any time. So if that's the case, then we're going to be, again, stuck, trying to do it with one vehicle. That's, it's our best, but it has its own set of issues that we've had to deal with over the years. Hopefully it's in a better state of readiness this year, but it would still behoove the village to have that updated fleet to where we know we're good for the next 6 or 7 or 8 to 10 years. And then we have that vehicle and we can continue to, mend our best one to date and then look to transition that one out in a few years. But I think that it's going to be needed, because if this winter is harsh, the unpredictability of those, the secondary vehicle is going to really kind of lead to some challenges.
Okay. Ms. Jeter and then Mr. Daniels.
Yeah, I have 2 or 3 questions. Try 3. The first one is the year of the first truck and the year of the second truck. How old are they?
The year, let's see, I would have to pull
Mr.
this.
Willis is on here.
Mr. Willis, Jamal.
Uh-huh.
The
Jamal,
first
are
truck,
you here?
the oldest truck is a 2000. Yeah, you hear me?
2000.
Yes.
2007, and the other truck is a 2011. The 2007 is the truck that keeps getting repaired.
Okay, then where are the quotes for these automobiles that you want us to talk about?
It should be in a packet that was emailed at the finance meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in there.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So the 2011 is the newest truck, but it just, the service history, that was the problem. The truck wasn't maintained, but the front end is regular wear and tear due to the aspect of the plow.
Okay. The third question is the cost. The estimate for the first and second truck.
The transmission and all that?
No, for the new one.
It's in that packet. It's 81,000 or 85,000.
85,000. Okay, that's good.
That was the lowest.
I don't have the finance packet in front of me, so therefore
okay.
I just
I'm
wanted
sorry.
you to give me some type of quote on the cost of purchasing something new. Does it also include them fitting the truck?
Yes,
turnkey ready. It's turnkey ready, so it's already upfitted with a plow and the spreader and everything.
So are they talking about lease versus buy? And if you lease it in the 5th, 6th year, whatever, you pay $1 for it?
Yes, I have that. I have the finance options as well. The financing is like 19,000 a year or something.
For how many years?
5.
5 years. In the 5th year, can we purchase that for that $1, whatever?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you're talking about $40,000 a year for 2 or 20 for 1 for 5
Yes.
years. Oh, okay. Good information. Thank you. Thank you both.
No problem.
Thank you. Councilman Daniels?
My first question is in regards to the truck. I know we said that on hold, but with all the warranties, just in case something happens to it, in the short term, will be covered, correct? I know insurance does those type of things. You got the warranty involved as well. Just curious.
As far as the parts, there's a year warranty on it from the manufacturer. It might carry more than 1 year, but some stuff like with hydraulic hoses and stuff bust, that's not covered under warranty because that's typical wear and tear. But for like the major parts, the plow, everything has a manufacturer warranty as well as a warranty from the dealer. But typically, it's usually a year.
Okay. And then
talking about powertrain, like for the actual truck, then it'll be like, some cars after 5 years, 100,000 miles, or whichever. The truck is under warranty. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was just curious on that. And then my other question, in regards to the asbestos, I know we had a lot of different things going on there. Just if I'm clear on that, Mr. Dukes, and it was a $500,000 cost. And then I was just curious too, and I know I'm asking two questions at once, and I'm sure it's been emailed out. Can we get an email of just the survey report of the total silver report that Hamilton County did, if that's possible? And then secondly, just on that, with the asbestos and removal, either way, that asbestos has to be taken care of before anything's done on that campus there, correct?
Yes, but I don't recall any survey that was provided by the county. That was an estimate that they threw out, that they informed me came from the county engineer. Not sure if he did put some type of estimate together, but only thing we have is the historical assessment that was completed by a consultant for the county regarding the property.
Is that the same one? I thought, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm wrong all the time, but I thought we had we either got into a MOU or we got into some agreement with Hamilton County where they would look to see total survey and assessment of that building and completely and see what those total dollars are to either tear it down or replace it. I thought that was that's been done, or am I mistaken?
Well, no. The only thing that I've seen and that I have in my possession is the environmental assessment and historical analysis that had been done, that they conducted, I think, for about maybe $15,000 to $20,000. That they had a consultant come in and look at the historical nature of the building and make some recommendations to minimize the impact to the historical features.
Okay, well, yeah, that might be the same thing then. And then, yeah, if that's cool, we could just, if you don't mind just sending that to us. I'm sure you already did, but just so I got at the top of my email, just so I can check that over, that'd be cool, possible.
Okay, yeah, I think Joy had sent it out initially, but I'll get it and send it out to council as well.
Appreciate it.
Okay, Ms. Mitchell, and then we're going to go on to the report from Ms. Goodwin-Williams.
Okay.
Ms. Million.
So touch bases on what Mr. Daniels is saying. So the information that Ms. Pope sent out stated that the information for the National Registry efforts have been suspended. So are they to start again when you talk about minimizing what we do to the building? If we're trying to get rid of the asbestos, so are we looking at using that $185,000 to continue the National Registry, which if there's more work like that has to be done, we pay for it out of that 185, then we're not going to have any money to abate the asbestos or demolish. So, you say you're going to get in touch with them, hopefully so, because the report said they suspended the National Registry efforts.
Yeah, that was the county's spearheading that particular effort. I mean, it's not required that the building be placed on the National Register.
I understand that, but I'm just saying it started, and are we going to stop it, or are we going to continue that? And if they decide to continue it, as we're trying to decide what to do with it, does that come out of that 185?
Well, yes, if they continue the effort, because that's where they've been pulling the funding from thus far. But really and truly, it's kind of contradictory and adds the time and expense to demolishing the property if you're going to continue to try to place it on the National Register. So if the building has passed its life, state of usefulness, then basically, we just need to move forward. And then I think, you know, again, the report and the requirement, the project will require that we look at what can we do to minimize an impact, whether it be, you know, retaining certain portions of the brick wall facade, or either, you know, erecting statues or selling the bricks to form a courtyard.
All right, so
I'm
let's,
just referring to the report, and I just want to make sure we keep eating up that $185,000 that's left.
all right, let's move ahead. Next is committee reports, Economic Development Committee report by Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin-Williams.
Okay, and so what I'll say is the minutes that were recorded for the meetings will suffice. The residents and council can obtain those documents from Lisa Randolph, Council Clerk.
Okay. Then we'll move on to old business then. So you're going just by the minutes, because I thought you were going to be giving a report. Ms. Randolph said you were. Okay, so we'll go by the minutes then. All right, next is old business. Motion order for the second reading of resolution 2020 R25. What's your pleasure, council?
Motion that we read by title only.
I've already done that.
You wanted to read by title only again?
It's time to
No,
motion
and
to
we
suspend
We don't need
the
to read by
rules.
title only again. Now, we don't need to read by title only again, correct? It's a second reading, so that's right. We just, yeah, I guess.
Suspend the rules.
Yes, suspend the rules.
Okay.
No.
All right.
We still
You'll
need
have
to
to go
have
back
the
and do
second
it.
reading. But because it is the second reading, it automatically is by title.
Yeah.
You don't have to motion on it. Okay.
Right, just read it.
Okay, so I move forward with reading it by title only. Village of Lincoln Heights, Hamilton County, Ohio, resolution number 2020-R-25. Resolution authorizing the village manager to execute a memorandum of understanding with the Hamilton County Department of Planning and Development for purposes of reviewing and updating the Lincoln Heights land use plan.
Motion in order to suspend the rules.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call, Ms. Randolph.
Councilman Durant Daniels,
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
No.
Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kenzie Mumfree.
Yes.
So we have 6 aye votes, 1 nay. The motion passed.
Motion in order for passage of resolution 2020 R25.
Motion.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call.
Councilman Durant Daniels,
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
No.
Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kenzie Mumfree.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes, 1 nay. The motion passed.
Motion in order for the emergency clause of resolution 2020 R25.
Motion.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call.
Councilman Durant Daniels,
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
No.
Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kenzie Mumfree.
Yes.
We have 6 aye votes, 1 no. The motion passed.
Motion in order for resolution number 2020 R26. Resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission. What's your pleasure?
Motion.
Is there a
Read by
second?
title only.
Sorry. Who seconded?
That's
it?
second for you, Ms. Mitchell?
Yeah, to read by title only, right?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
All right, yes.
Okay, it's been moved in second. Roll call, Ms. Randolph?
Councilman Durant Daniels,
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kenzie Mumfree.
Yes.
We have 7 aye votes, the motion passed. Village of Lincoln Heights, Hamilton County, Ohio, resolution number 2020-R-26. Resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
Okay. Motion in order to suspend the rules of resolution 2020 R26.
Motion.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call, Ms. Randolph?
Councilman Durant Daniels,
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kenzie Mumfree.
Yes.
We have 7 aye votes, the motion passed.
Motion for passage of resolution 2020 R26.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call.
Councilman Durant Daniels, Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kenzie Mumfree.
Yes.
We have 7 aye votes, the motion passed.
Motion for the emergency clause of resolution 2020 R26.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call.
Councilman Durant Daniels,
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kenzie Mumfree.
Yes.
We have 7 aye votes, the motion passed.
Ms. Randolph? I'm
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. What
Go
was the
ahead.
vote? What was the vote on the motion to suspend?
7 aye votes. Everyone voted yes.
And the vote on the motion for passage was also unanimous?
Correct.
Sorry about that, Mayor.
Okay, that's okay. Motion in order for resolution 2020 R27, establishing a special fund for receipt of monies from the Economic Security Act program established by the Hamilton County Board of Commissioners. What's your
Mayor,
pleasure?
I'm sorry, Mayor, to interrupt. Did we do the emergency clause on R26?
Yes.
Yep, and that
It
was
was-
unanimous as well?
That is correct.
Okay, sorry about that.
What's your pleasure for resolution 2020 R27?
I move to read by title only.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call.
Councilman Durant Daniels,
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kenzie Mumfree.
Yes.
We have 7 aye votes, motion passed. Village of Lincoln Heights, Hamilton County, Ohio, resolution number 2020-R-27. Resolution establishing a special fund for receipt of monies from the Economic Security Act program established by the Hamilton County Board of Commissioners.
Motion to suspend the rules of resolution 2020-R-27.
Motion.
Second.
Been moved in second. Roll call.
Councilman Durant Daniels,
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kenzie Mumfree.
Yes.
We have 7 aye votes, the motion passed.
Motion for passage of resolution 2020-R-27.
Moved.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call.
Councilman Durant Daniels,
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kenzie Mumfree.
Yes.
We have 7 aye votes, the motion passed.
Motion for the emergency clause of resolution 2020-R-27.
So move.
Second.
Moved in second. Roll call.
Councilman Durant Daniels, Councilman Durant Daniels,
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kenzie Mumfree.
Yes.
7 aye votes, the motion passed.
We had, actually, we have the right-of-way acquisition for safe routes to school. We have that on there again. Mr. Deepak, did you need to mention anything else on that?
No, I just, we had our discussion in council of the whole about acquiring an easement as opposed to actual fee simple property. So what I'll do for the first meeting in October is I'll bring a resolution back authorizing that acquisition by resolution. And hopefully at that time, we'll also be teed up for the transfer back to the Princeton City School District. And if so, I'll bring a resolution then as well.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any miscellaneous business?
Yes, ma'am. In the Finance Committee, the recommendation was made to motion to council that the manager purchase the hand sanitizing machines and the foam products that go along with it. So that's a motion that I'm making on behalf of the Finance Committee.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved in second for the manager to purchase the hand sanitizers units,
And the accompanying products.
the company products. All right. Roll call, Ms. Randolph.
Councilman Durant Daniels,
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson, Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Is she froze? Is she's?
No, I ain't froze. You know I want them machines. Yes.
I just had to do it for the record. Mayor Ruby Kenzie Mumfree.
Yes.
7 I votes. The motion passed.
Yeah, I also have something for Mr. Dukes. You know, I had a couple residents call me about Constellation and the fact that the gas aggregation has been terminated. And so information was sent, the application was already typed up, and all it needed was a signature. So whereas it may not be a lot of money, but those rates, the residents' gas rates, will be affected because administration somewhere along the line failed to sign that renewal. So I want to know, what can we do? Have you contacted them to find out, do we have to wait till next year to renew that, or just what?
No, ma'am, I haven't contacted them yet. I thought that was the discussion, that it would have to, well, I guess be put back on the ballot, and there was still some confusion as to whether they were, pushing the gas or the electric ag, and that's where the confusion came about, and I wasn't here at the time. So some things kind of fell through the cracks, but I will contact that company tomorrow via email and forward that over to council members, their direct response, to see if they have something.
Well, Mr. Dukes, the confusion, when I brought it up last year, that was to do the electric aggregation, but this was to continue the gas aggregation that we've had for 10 years. So I'm just saying, when those things come in, we can't afford, at least, not to renew it, or at least bring it before council, to discuss it if you didn't want to renew it. But as long as you call them and let us know. I don't want to wait till the finance meeting to hear, what they say.
I'll email them and see if they got something. But again, they basically was communicating the electric ag up until, we found out about the gas at the end. We never heard anything about the gas ag. It was all about the electric.
Right, but the gas was renewal. So that form came in, the letter came in.
Yeah, at the end. I mean, again, that was during the time I wasn't here when they really began to switch to the gas ag communication, because prior to me leaving for FMLA, it was all about the electrical ag.
Right, that was new. That was last year. We couldn't do anything with that because it didn't get on the ballot in November. But Mayor, my other question to the manager is, so when will we move on the traffic signal? Because we have to do that this year. So
yeah, well, when I meet with the engineering firm, they'll basically have to put a schedule together and manage that project. So I'll have to talk with Stephanie and get her on board and get her involved in the conversation. That's something I plan to do on Wednesday as well.
Okay, so they put out the bids for that, to put that up?
Yeah, the engineer would probably definitely be the one that coordinates that project.
All right. Thank you.
I got a question real quick. I do know, like, when we first got on council 2016, we had a roundtable discussion about signal light down there off of Shepherd Lane, on Shepherd and Wayne, yeah, where Laughlin Lincoln Heights meet. And we were talking about doing a collaboration with Laughlin, since both of us use that light. But, with ODOT expansion of the I-75, looks like we could look to see if there's some resources out there to put a signal light down at the bottom, because we really need it. And I know we talked about that when we first got on council, in between village managers and stuff. We get talked about that. That will be another area that a traffic light is definitely needed.
Yeah, I guess it just would be a matter of who's going to pay for the study for them to install a traffic signal, because the engineer or you know, would have to get either our consultant or Lockland Consultants or jointly hire an engineering firm to do a traffic study to see if a signal would be warranted, which, you know, they require what is called a signal warrant study to be conducted before they change that traffic control device.
Well, there's nothing there but stop signs. So I was just thinking there could be a possible collaboration with the communities to get a traffic light down at the bottom.
Yes, we could begin that conversation. I know Jamal Willis was sharing something with me earlier as far as I think there had been some conversation with Lockland about doing some joint improvements to Wayne Avenue and even the potential of a traffic signal. But I think they were, maybe it was just the, Ms. Pope even mentioned something about it. Maybe it was just they were using their county road funds to do some other roads and didn't want to partner at that time. But since then, they've paid their end of Wayne. So I don't see why we couldn't talk with the village administrator or manager there to see if they would be amenable to the idea.
Yeah, or even reach out to ODOT, since because of, you know, our roads are getting even, you know, torn down, you know, we had a lot of wear and tear because of the, you know, rerouting of the streets. Maybe they have some resources out there that they can help us to collaborate with Lockland. It's worth looking into, I think.
Okay, that's another thing. I know Jamal has also been in contact with ODOT because, you know, after our conversation about the I-75 improvement and some of the things that, you know, we were anticipating on our side, that, you know, they was talking about other pots of money that could possibly be available. So we would just have to kind of re-engage them in that conversation.
That's all I got. All right. Thanks, Mr. Dukes.
Yes, ma'am. And Mayor, if I may, I have well, I didn't go all the way through the report that I had prepared, but I did provide a copy to Ms. Randolph, which she can send out tomorrow. And it just talks about some of the other things as far as, you know, I was commending the service department for the hard work that they've done over this past year, and being understaffed and all, and they got a lot of things done, and even taking upon them the responsibility of doing code enforcement. I know at times, you know, it may look like there's no movement, but believe me, there has been a lot of citations written and a lot of citations complied with since service took it over. And, you know, I think there, you know, only even better things to come, you know, in the very near future with having it in-house. So I just, you know, encourage Ms. Randolph to send that out and incorporate this report into the minutes.
So you're saying that we should be looking to see citations even moving into mayor's court as well? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. We should definitely see that. Like I say, just want to kind of get with Mr. Desai and confirm a few things to, you know, determine how fast we can move forward with citing the people and removing those substandard dangerous houses that need to be demolished. So I'll check with him, send him an email and see when he'll be available to you know, talk about, you know, how fast we can proceed with getting some of these structures torn down.
Right. I did want to share with council that Ms. Perkins had reached out to some of the other municipalities as far as billing fees. And so she did forward that information with Mr. Duke. And Mr. Duke, you may want to let Mr. Desai see what that looks like, because he may have something, I don't know, structure from previously when they used to have a lot of that going on in mayor's court before my time. especially, but Ms. Perkins has been a great help to try to help find a way of getting that billing part taken care of. So,
yes, establishing that fee structure for
Yeah.
Mayor's Court and for the first, goal is to, if they don't comply, and that's what I want to just clear up with Mr. Desai, that if they fail to comply, then, the village is well within its right to go on the property, take care of the concern, and present a bill to the property owner. And if they fail to pay, then it'll be transferred to Mayor's Court. So just make sure all those things are in place, and then I think we can move forward pretty fast taking care of some of these issues.
Looks like Mr. Daniels has his hand up.
Yes, ma'am. I have two things, miscellaneous business, only if Mr. Dukes is, I don't know if we need to make a motion to accept his report. I just have two things of miscellaneous business once Mr. Dukes is has concluded.
I'm done, Mr. Daniels. Thank you.
Do we need to make an official motion to his report? I wasn't quite clear, so a little unorthodox. Just wasn't clear if we need to make a motion to accept his report or not, Mr. Desai.
That's a good question, Mr. Daniels. Technically, we don't need to do it for any report.
Okay.
Whether a report is accepted or not, it is the report. It's just a practice that council is engaged in long before I came on back in 2007. And so since there was no harm in doing it, it's not something we've ever stopped, but there's really no need to motion to accept a report, because even if it's not accepted, it's still the report.
Touche to that. So, thank you. Well, if that's the case, can I go on my miscellaneous business, Madam Mayor?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
First thing I just want to say to Ms. Kathy Goodwin-Williams, allowing this being her last meeting, I just want to say I thank you for your service as a council member, as a colleague. I know we haven't always seen eye to eye on every issue, but given the fact that we can oversee those differences and those adversities and come through for the betterment of the village, I think that says a lot to where this community is going. And to whatever you have going on, many blessings from me in any way I can be an assistance. Please reach out. So I just want to say thank you again. I know how hard this side of the table is, and I appreciate your service and your leadership on that end.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And then I want to make a motion that the service department made an ask. So I'm just making a motion that we purchase the 2020 Ford F-550 dump plow truck, the 4x4, so that we have a service vehicle for the winter. That is my motion. Not sure if I need more to that, but that's the motion.
Is there any questions that we would need to get a second? Is there any questions that need to be asked before I ask for a second?
Shouldn't we take this to the finance meeting?
That's what I was going to suggest.
So before we have discussion, we need to have a second, and then we can have discussion.
Okay. All right. Is there a second?
A second.
I second it.
Okay, there's a second. Question?
Should we take this to the finance meeting for further discussion? Because there's more than one quote.
I agree. I think that, and I don't know, does everybody have the information in front of them, or as Mr. Dukes did send it to us, but I think we got it after or during the finance meeting. So I think we just need to, put it in with the budget.
Well, Mayor, keep in mind that this vehicle is not going to be held forever. So, I mean, it's almost like now, never, or next year. So, I mean, the vehicle is there. We're ahead of the schedule, ahead of the curve right now. So, and that's even if the vehicle is still available. Mr. Willis will have to kind of check with the dealership with the lowest bid tomorrow to see if they're still holding the vehicle, and let them know or see if they can hold it any longer. But I would almost doubt it at this point, being that the code is beginning to come in.
wouldn't there be another vehicle available? I mean, we just haven't just gotten the information and don't have it in front of us.
Exactly.
This vehicle will be gone. We wouldn't be able to get another one?
No, not a vehicle that's already fitted with the snow kit. They build those vehicles, and this dealership just happened to have a couple on hand at the time. So I'm sure they're kind of going away pretty fast at this point in time.
What about other dealerships? So I'm with Miss Stinson.
Well, the other one didn't have any. They provided quotes, and they would have to order the vehicles and get the kits made. But you know, it's a recommendation.
Miss Jeter, she's waving and waving. Go ahead, Miss Jeter.
What happened to procedures? We always jump over things and forget to take it to the right place and have this discussion on whether you want it or not. We just leap out there and make a decision to do whatever. And Mr. Dukes, I understand the urgency of that, but this needs to be a conversation so that we can understand what we're doing and what we want to vote on.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want some things right now too, and it just is not going to happen.
Yes, ma'am. But Ms. Jeter, we've spoken about this several council meetings ago, and it was referred back to the finance committee. The numbers were, you know, a little behind because Mr. Willis was pulling that information together and was unable to get it to us prior. Well, I think he got it right before the meeting. But the members, I guess, didn't have a chance to look at it or didn't look at it following the meeting. But it's something that's been on the table and have been discussed, you know, so we've been trying to bring it to the forefront.
So we're just going to take a leap tonight, huh? Oh, okay.
No, ma'am, it's your call.
The finance committee was very, very long. And I guess didn't have a chance to get to it. I don't know what happened, but it does need to be discussed in the next couple of weeks so he can ask them to hold on to it until after the meeting and then the council and they vote on it and bam. But you also need to include the finance director so she can tell you where in the heck is the money coming from.
I did want to mention also.
Unless you're paying for it.
Yeah, we also have an ask to purchase 2 police cruisers as well. So you're correct. We do need to talk about these 3 vehicles that are needed in finance. Okay.
Well, Mayor, there's a motion on the floor.
I got hands. I still got questions. Councilman Daniels has his hands up.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. As we talked about procedures, I want to make sure I raise my hand before I just interrupted abruptly. And to Mr. Dukes' point, as he said, we talked about this in the finance meeting. We talked about the committee as a whole. I don't know what other questions we need to ask at this point. I feel like any questions that we ask, we could ask it. And it was also in our report as well. So, I mean, yeah, it's funny how some things are urgent. And when it comes to dollars and cents, and then, you know, even though it's brought up there, we pass it. And then now this is something that's brought up. I know at least it's been at least, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Jamal, at least a month and a half that we've talked about this. But it's fine, you know, winter's right around the corner. So as they say in Game of Thrones, you know, winter is coming. So the motion is on the floor as Ms. Laverne just said. So I guess we got to move on. Either way, folks got to vote.
Miss Jeter, you still have your hand up?
Oh, no, I didn't take it down.
Miss Goodwin?
I forgot what we were voting on.
Whether or not to purchase a truck for the winter.
Oh, okay.
But there's a motion.
Can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not comfortable with voting on that tonight. Yeah, we talk about stuff for years and it still don't jump off. So I don't understand why we have to make a decision tonight on this truck. We just got the figures today and some people didn't even get the figures. That's a lot of money and nobody's saying no to the truck. We just need to look at the numbers and figure out where we're gonna get the money from. I think it still need to be discussion, but if we got to vote tonight, vote tonight.
Well, unless Mr.
But if you
Daniels
wanted to
wants,
pass, I would pass it on to the finance, because I'm gonna vote no.
that's what I would like. Unless Mr. Daniels wants to rescind, I don't know if he wants to risk what the vote would be. And it's not voting that we don't want the truck. I think they want to have further discussion in finance, especially.
If it's a question to me to rescind the vote, we can always bring the motion back up. So I feel like the vote should go either way to allow people to vote however they want to. I mean, that's just me personally. Now, as we talk about the finances of it, and this is allocated, once again, I feel like we could just ask that question. If I'm not mistaken, have we not already budgeted this? Like, unless I'm tripping, have Mr. Dukes and or Ms. Pope, let me know if I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Have we not already budgeted out for this truck?
I don't think so.
There's a budget there's a truck for the service department already budgeted, yes. But I don't know what the amount is. I think it's about 12,000 that's budgeted.
So.
And that's annually.
Annually, right?
I call for the question, Mayor. I call for the question. Let's vote and
let's vote. Okay. Ms. Randolph, it's been moved and wasn't it second?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Roll call, Ms. Randolph.
Councilman Durant Daniels.
Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
No.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin Williams.
Yes, and Vice Mayor, you know who's in charge.
Come on with the vote, please. Ms. Randolph.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
No.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
No.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
No.
We have 4 no votes. We have 3 aye votes. Motion fails.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else?
Yeah, I got something. I want
Yes,
to make
ma'am.
a motion. I want to make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss the employment of a public figure, a public employee, whatever it's called. I already sent out a executive session. That's my motion.
Is there a second?
A second.
It's been moved in second. Roll call, Ms. Randolph, to go in executive session regarding a employee.
Councilman Durant Daniels.
Yes.
Councilman Durant.
You can't hear me? Yes. Yes. Okay. Sorry, I thought you could. Yes.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Yes.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. I'll come back to her.
Yes. There she comes. There she go. Okay.
Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin Williams.
Yes.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Yes.
Mayor Ruby Kinsey Mumphrey.
Yes.
We have 7 aye votes. The motion passed.
Madam Mayor.
Yes, Keith.
Are you going to be taking up anything coming back, or am I good to end the meeting?
When we come back, we're going to end it.
Well, we can't end the meeting though. Keith, we have to come back into regular session to end the meeting by
this will be quick.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah, it'll be quick.
I'm gonna make it quick.
Yeah, so we come back, open the meeting, then close.
There's another Zoom link.
I sent an email with a Zoom link. As long as I can remember my password, we should be good.
Which one did you send it to, Vice Mayor?
Oh, shoot. I sent
There
it to
you
the
go.
village email.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
The last time we did this, I could not get in because it asked me for a password that I don't have.
I made sure that I deselected the passcode.
So we won't need a code to get in, that's what you're saying?
Hopefully we won't, Phyllis. We'll give it a shot though. I did not put in for a code.
Okay, let's roll.
Okay, so we just leave the meeting, or is he pushing us out? Okay.
Oh, Lordy.
I think that's everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Phyllis.
Mayor, if you want to, you can go ahead and start the regular session. And then Ms. Randolph, after she calls the vote, if Ms. Baber is able to join us, she can just note on the record that she's come back in. You're on mute, Mayor.
You're still muted.
There I go. Keith, are we back live?
We are.
We are?
Yes.
Okay, all right. The Village of Lincoln Heights Council meeting is now back in session. The time is now 10:10. Roll call, Ms. Randolph.
Councilman Durance Daniels.
Here, present. I think, yeah.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Here, present.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. I'll come back to her. Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin Williams.
Present.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Present.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Present.
Mayor Ruby Kenzie Mumphrey.
Present.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. Okay, no response from her. We have 6 who are present, 1 who's absent.
Okay.
We do have a quorum.
If we could just let the record note that Ms. Baber, due to work commitments, usually has to call in on her phone. And sometimes getting in and out, as we did when we left for executive session, is challenging on a phone. So we're sure she's trying to get back in. She just may not be able to at the moment. Sorry, Mayor. Go ahead.
That's okay. That sounds good. I just kept looking, hoping she's gonna pop up. Okay, well, if there's nothing further, motion.
Quick question, Madam Mayor. I'm sorry. I know everybody.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm not ready for adjourn. Yes, go ahead, Councilman Daniels.
Just real quick, as we talk about, there's a vacant council seat. So just what is the role and what is the procedure of the village to let community members know about the process if they would like to apply for that vacant council seat, just so we can be as transparent as possible. So we just put it out there. What is the process? How do we let folks know? And then where do they go to apply?
Okay. All right, Councilman Daniels, on our website, we have the vacancy application and it lists all the requirements and guidelines. And one of them is that they will have to make sure that they are current on their taxes with the village to be able to qualify. And then they will, after that gets taken care of and verified through the tax administrator, then council would vote on that during the council. Now with Ms. Goodwin Williams, after her seat becomes vacant, council has 60 days to vote for someone. If council does not find a candidate, then the mayor can appoint.
Don't forget, Mayor, they have to show proof of residency for 1 year.
Yeah, but it basically breaks it down on the application. I don't have it in front of me, but it's on our website as we speak. And it's also outside, and we did send that to all the locations that we send emails to. Ms. Randolph, did I leave out anything? Because you were the one that sent that information.
Mayor, there was a deadline we had placed of September the 18th for the vacancy.
But
tell me to use that date.
Yeah. So we had a deadline, and We've been down this road again, so we left it out there. Ms. Mitchell, you got your hand up?
Yes, so if September 18th is the deadline, we need to establish another one. And you have to do something other than just the, just on the website. You probably need to do a robocall because everybody's not going to look on the website to know that there is a vacancy.
And just so I'm clear, I'm sorry, the 60 days are up until Miss Kathy's last day. So that would be, when is your official last, would that be
She said today.
It's the 30th. The 30th is my official last day. This is my last meeting.
Oh, okay.
So it's 60 days from the 30th of September.
Okay. So is that when we will put the deadline on the application, or when are we saying the deadline of the applications are?
Right.
Well,
I mean, I don't know that it really makes sense to put any kind of a deadline down. I mean, council can at any time, a majority of council at any time can vote to appoint somebody to the council seat. So, it just seems like it makes sense to me until the seat's filled, don't exclude anybody, just leave it open. And, people that may not apply early just run the risk that they may not be considered because council may decide at its next meeting to fill the seat.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Daniel. That's a good question. All right. Any other miscellaneous business left? Is that a happy face, Miss Cheater?
No, it's just a face. It's just a face, and I put several up there, and you didn't look at them. Everybody spoke. So to Miss Kathy Goodwin, good luck on your future endeavor. And of course, we've already talked about this. So be blessed, my sister, and go in peace.
Thank you.
Same here.
Yes, we want to miss you. We want to wish you nothing but the best. And young lady, it has been a journey, and I want to thank you for the experience of working with Miss Goodwin Williams. Thank you very much. Thank you for your efforts, and you did a phenomenal job being on council. So thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you all. I'll be seeing you guys. I'm not going far.
Okay. All right. Vice Mayor.
Miss Kathy.
I don't have nothing to say to her. She gone. Bye.
Miss Kathy Goodwin, it was nice to see you and Brother Durance come to an understanding. It's a wonderful thing.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's a wonderful thing. So good job.
Right.
Durance and I are going to get there one day.
Oh, I have one thing that I needed to say.
17.
This is business though. I guess it was like last week, and I happened to drive, it's old business, but down Chester Road, and happened to look on Van Buren. It is hot there again.
Yes, it is.
Got to do something. I mean, just hanging out, sitting on all three of the vacant property stoops. I mean, it's hot there. That's something waiting to happen. That's the sheriff's job. They need to do their job.
The property was purchased, I understand, by the guy at our corner. So
I mean, they just hanging all over it. They in the streets, on the sidewalk, on the property, in cars.
I actually stopped there and gave them some voter registration forms and talked to them, asking them to fill them out. If you go by there, they may be on the ground, but I did do that.
I just want, the sheriffs to pay more attention to that area before something happens.
They are paying attention to it, and they have pulled up and parked.
Okay.
So they're working on it. That's all I can say. That's
okay.
That was the report to me.
Okay.
I don't know.
It just made me nervous.
Me too. Right. Well, if there's nothing further, is there a motion to adjourn?
Yes, motion. Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Good night.
Take care.